Guaranteed. Call us today at 853-3899. That's 853-3899. Or visit us at citysuburban.com for more information.
Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
One, two. Testing 1, 2. Good morning. It is Thursday morning, which the best part of Thursday is what? Tomorrow is Friday. That's usually the best part of Thursday.
Yeah, it's usually the worst part of Sunday. The next day is Monday.
It is. Yeah, that's right. And sometimes you go so bad as to not enjoy Sunday because you know Monday's coming.
Dreading it.
Okay, so I have to say I already had a dilemma this morning. So I tried out I was with Ricky Z yesterday, and I tried out the CX90, which I currently have in my possession, which is a hybrid.
Okay.
And I was able to, I think the way it's set up, I can literally drive to work and drive home without using any gasoline.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
That's great.
So I charged it overnight because I don't have like the quick charge. You can charge it right in a regular outlet, which is what I did. The problem is this morning as I went to unplug it, I couldn't get it unplugged.
What?
It would not unplug. If you have a hybrid.
This is not like a vacuum plug. I mean, right? Like a vacuum cleaner that you plug into the wall.
I can show you during a break how it is. It's kind of it's a regular outlet though. I was able to plug into a regular outlet. So anyway, plugging it in was easy, and it charged to exactly what I had set it for. I had it set charging to like 90%. But then when I went to unplug it, it wouldn't come undone. And I'm like, what have I done? Is there a special thing? Like, do you tap 2 times and kick the tire?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm hitting
the button for
hitting
3
all
seconds.
sorts of buttons, and at this point now, I'm like, I'm going to have to take my wife's car because you don't want to, it won't unlock. So I relied on YouTube.
Oh,
so here I am sitting outside my car.
Yeah.
Well, it's not my car yet. Sitting outside the vehicle, looking at a video on YouTube, trying to figure out how to unplug, and there's a way to go about it. You apparently have to unplug from the electric first, and you wait just a little bit, and it will unlock. So I was doing the opposite. I was unplugging from the car first, which you apparently can't do, and, by the way, it will not let you.
Okay, so
it all worked out, and I'm here. I did not tear the outlet out of my garage or out of the car.
Uh-huh.
No damage to the vehicle.
Yeah, that would be a costly
A little
mistake.
damage maybe to my ego. Other than that, all is good. And it's a pretty cool car. What's that, Davey?
I got to go outside quick into my car. I'm going to
So
look at it.
this is the replacement of the CX-9, the Mazda CX-9 at Steep Pawnee Mazda. They have these in stock. And it's a really nice vehicle.
Nope.
I mean, I would compare it to something like, to be honest, like a Lexus or even a Highlander or something like that. It has a great ride. CX-90.
The CX-90 is what you have outside right now.
So the car that I've been driving is the CX-9, which is my vehicle.
Yeah,
this
is
would be
sleek.
the 690. It is sleek, and as my wife said, it's she likes it because she feels that I'm too old for a sporty vehicle. And I tried to, which is the CX-9. I tried to explain to her that as you get older, that's when you buy the Mazda convertible. It's when you buy,
that's when you flex your car, when your arm
exactly
won't flex.
Right.
Yeah.
If you the muscle vehicle that you get, you probably can't afford when you're 25. But as you get older, you can swing it.
I've earned this.
Or maybe it's a midlife crisis. I don't know. But this, listen, this is it's a cool vehicle, and it's amazing to fly down the road and the acceleration that you get with a vehicle, and there's no gasoline.
What kind of interior do you have? Because I'm seeing some of the interior shots on the CX-90.
Yeah, they have some different.
Sharp.
Yeah, they have. This would be basically, I would say, like a standard interior. I would think.
I'm seeing
anyway.
like an all cream one. That looks
really they've got some cool stuff. Steve Pawnee Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville. This is not a commercial, but it kind of works out that way. Pretty awesome experience. This morning, Dr. Shemaleski's on. We're going to talk about things that people have as we're going into the fall, things that you might be medically worried about, whether it be the flu, be dealing with COVID and vaccines, and, we're all going to at some point come indoors. That'll change things up. Mayor Mark Blask of Little Falls is on today. There's a rumor going around. What is this story?
No, just essentially that somebody commented earlier this week on something we were discussing that Little Falls had migrants kind of wandering around the downtown or all over town or all over the city. And I don't know, I just reached out really for that one question. I wanted to bring him on to ask him that. We hadn't heard anything like that.
Here's the thing that I wonder. How do you know if someone is a migrant? Right? I mean, is it, they look different, they look like migrants? I mean, how do we know?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right? How would somebody know? We'll speak with the mayor on that. Also this morning, Al Woodall, who was the backup quarterback to Jets quarterback Joe Namath, who kind of went through what's happening right now. When Joe Namath would get injured, he would step in. He would be the guy. John Decker on later on this morning as well. And here's something that we talked about yesterday. We're going to start with a little bit of football and a little bit of the Bills. Michael Irvin had criticism for Stephon Diggs and for the coaching staff of the Buffalo Bills, saying, come on, leave this guy alone. Every time you point to your head and say, be smart, and you do it in front of everybody, the fans in the stadium, the people at home on TV watching, they all are thinking, yeah, you're saying be smart. We're thinking you're calling him dumb. And you've gotten into the head of Josh Allen to the point where he's not performing. So that was the argument. And I think yesterday I said, I hope that Stephon Diggs and the coaching staff listened to this, and they did. And Stephon Diggs is now reacting. So you want to hear what he has to say?
Yeah.
Of course, he was the former Dallas Cowboys receiver. Said that if I would have done this back in my day, Troy Aikman would have taken me to the locker room and punched me in the face. Stop messing with this man's confidence, was what he said. So Diggs heard about Irvin's comments and that Irvin didn't like him pointing to his head. Diggs' response, I'm like, what are you talking about? People garnish things from a game and have their own opinion about XYZ. Like, what are you talking about, said Diggs. I say this to the quarterback. I say this to the running backs. I say this to the receivers, to the O-line. When you see me pointing to my head, I say, let's play smart for the O-line. That's like not getting a stop for holding. For the receivers, let's stay on sides or get your depth. He went on to say that he named a Bills captain. He was named a Bills captain for the third straight season. We're in a high-pressure, heightened anxiety, or whatever it is. Football is that, said Diggs. If you can bring a couple notches down to those moments, you just never know how much further you can go as a team. I just try to give Josh, hey, we got this. Don't even worry about this. Let's play hard. Let's play smart. What do you think?
Yeah, I think his explanation, it does make sense. I don't know. To his point, I don't know that, like, when they're on the field, they should be worried, how is this going to be misperceived by the fans?
Right. You talk about having to overthink things.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm actually okay with his answer. I hope that's, if you're a Bills fan, you hope that's true. And that Josh Allen doesn't take it that way, and that's something that Stephon Diggs does to everybody, because you don't want to be penalized, or you don't want to get a clipping penalty that, brings a ball back 15 yards.
And if you're if you're a Raiders fan, you hope that the Bills continue to be that Josh Allen continues to be a little bit cloudy in the head, right?
Yeah.
Raiders Bills this weekend. Here's what Josh Allen had to say: as a quarterback in this league, the best ones are able to kind of put this behind them, but take away lessons from it and not let it affect how they play the next game in a negative way. Try using it to my advantage and learn from it. It's not the first time I've thrown 3 interceptions. Barring how long I play,
and it won't be the last.
Barring how long I play in this league, hopefully it's a long time. It might not be the last I ever throw here. And he went on to say, it's trusting your teammates. It's having guys come and talk to you and tell you to wash it and get rid of it. So just leaning on those guys in the locker room and looking forward to playing my best football. So I don't know if Richard buys any of that, but that's what. And Davey, you're shaking your head.
Well,
whatever. Just play the game and win.
About Michael Irvin?
Yeah.
No comment.
Okay. All right.
But he is kind of right about Stephon Diggs. He kind of is a little bit of a hothead sometimes.
I think and could, my comment earlier was that maybe he has more of a negative, at least he certainly has positives, but does he have a negative effect on this team as well and on Josh Allen? Something to think about, I guess. Let's see, what else do we want to get into? That PA fugitive has been captured yesterday morning. That actually happened during the morning hours.
Yeah.
While we were on the air. He has been captured. Somebody told me yesterday that he is he here illegally in the country?
Oh, I don't know
that's something I've not seen reported on at all, if that is true. But that I'm told that is the case. By the way, sticking with sports just a little bit this morning, did you see Max Scherzer is out for the rest of the season? Man, when you look back on what's going on with people that the Mets have gotten rid of, it almost seems like the Mets made the right decision, right?
Yeah.
You look at you look at Scherzer, you look at DeGrom. Wow. However, there are also plenty of people that the Mets have gotten rid of that have come back to haunt the New York Mets. Let's see what else.
To answer your question, yes, he is from Brazil and was in the U.S. illegally
when he committed the murder, right?
Yes,
yeah, obviously, and killed his girlfriend.
And was allegedly fleeing a 2017 murder charge in Brazil when he entered the United States. This is according to Yahoo News.
Gotta love it.
Others are reporting it as well.
In Syracuse, there are protesters calling for the sheriff there to resign after video has surfaced of the deputy who shot into that stolen car and killed 2 teenagers. Protesters on Wednesday in Syracuse called for Onondaga County Sheriff Toby Shelley to resign and for the firing of a deputy who fatally shot the 2 teens. About 20 demonstrators lined up in front of the sheriff's office on South State Street holding signs that said, "Let children live and stop killing our kids." The protest was called for after the state attorney general's office Tuesday released a video showing the shooting of the 15 and 17-year-olds. The sheriff has said that Deputy John Rosello had no choice but to shoot at the stolen vehicle as it drove towards him in a parking lot of a mobile home park in DeWitt. The deputy fired 3 bullets. 2 struck the front windshield. The third hit a side window, according to the DA. Here's the problem with this. He did not engage his body camera. This is a big problem.
Yeah, there is video of the incident, and as a matter of fact, another member of law enforcement said to me they did not, in their opinion, they did not believe the way the sheriff described the incident on the video that's out there publicly now. He did not feel like the words matched that video. That's what this member of law enforcement said.
What does that mean?
That essentially he had no choice. The vehicle was coming right at him.
So this law enforcement person says he doesn't buy that?
He felt like, well, I can read you the message.
There was
here.
an alternative.
Well, that what he said isn't what he witnessed in the video.
Okay. I'll have you read it right from the...
here we go. Okay. The video doesn't coincide with what the sheriff said. I don't see any way he's not indicted.
Okay. And that came from a cop.
A former cop.
So, with that said, I got to say, if you don't have the body camera on, I mean, the body camera in the beginning, and actually we had a conversation just last night with a police officer about this. And he said in the beginning, law enforcement didn't want body cameras. Do you remember when this whole thing began to come out? But as we learned, and as they learned, as we have discovered over time, is the body cameras, as much as they are something that helps protect and give information to the public, that same information that goes to the public can also protect the police officer, right?
Yeah.
It can verify what they said, because there's going to be somebody else out there saying, that's not true, it didn't happen that way. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes the body camera can help tell the story. But in this case, it wasn't on. So there's no one to, but now we find out there is a video out there.
So, and I don't know, I saw a bit of the video. I'm not judging the situation other than to say, just the protesters, the part that I don't get, did the deputy who showed up, did he know that they were teenagers? Like, that's the thing. Let's just say if what he's saying is true. I don't know that. But if he's responding to a stolen vehicle or whatever, they're trying to pull over a vehicle that comes up stolen, the vehicle's in a lot, and he claims the vehicle came right at him, so that's why he fired at it. He doesn't know that the kid in there's 15.
No, I know that, but I get it. But
Stop killing our teens.
Protesters, but what do you expect them? I mean, these are people who are, but you also don't know who these protesters are. So it could be friends, relatives. I don't even want to get into that. That is what it is. But again, if the body camera is worn and you did the right thing as a police officer, you have the body camera as evidence. And you don't have that here. So... But I have the same message, by the way, that you do from the former police officer saying I don't see how he's not indicted in this case. We'll see what happens. Moving on, a California Costco employee is getting praise for doing something Manaski would you do. I think in this situation you might do it. Found an envelope of cash. It's $4,000. What do you do? You're at a Costco, or maybe you're at a Walmart.
And I found an envelope with $3,500 in it.
$4,000.
I thought you said $3,200.
There you go. Here's John Sotelo talking about finding the envelope with almost $4,000 in it, and with help from his managers, he tracked down the rightful owner and ultimately returned the cash. Here he is talking about it.
It was crazy because when my manager wanted me outside and the member was right there, she was shaking my hand for like a good 20 seconds. I'm like, dang. So, she told me like, oh, I'm so glad, you found this, and that's for my kids to go to school. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm happy to help.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
This is kind of a little bit of a different situation. It's not like you found it sitting in a parking lot and, there's a $100 bill lying there. This is an envelope with almost $4,000 in cash. You work for the store. You find somebody, and I whenever we talk about this, I talk about my grandmother used to have this giant purse. This thing could carry you could survive for weeks on what was inside that purse.
Yeah.
So it was good size, and she set it down, and it was like firm. Like leather, but probably not leather, but firm. It would stand there on its own.
Uh-huh.
So while she's grabbing something, she would put the purse on the floor. And someone apparently came along. She had just cashed her check, so she had an envelope of cash. Someone lifted the envelope of cash and stole it, and there was no one to, back then they didn't have all the cameras all over the place. They were unable to see who did it, and she just lost the cash.
Wow.
So when you think about it that way, this could be the money for somebody to live on for the next month or what have you.
Yeah, it could be.
And then one more. This is a Vegas restaurant, and I love when this ends up happening. Like Fritz's Polka Band, I love it when they play like a Led Zeppelin song.
Yes.
Right?
It's very cool.
Or they play a song that's out of, you wouldn't expect to hear from them. And Fritz they do such an amazing job of playing rock classics.
I think I requested, and he played for me when we did a Christmas concert with them.
In polka style. It's
in
unbelievable.
polka style, he did, which is Hendrix.
It might have been
Watchtower.
when Gallagher played.
Yes. Yes, at the Radisson at the time.
Because right after that, Fritz played.
Yes.
Anyway, this was in Vegas. It's a Mexican restaurant, and it's a mariachi band. And somebody came up and asked him to play Usher's "Yeah." Is that how it's? Yay.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, here's the mariachi band playing Usher, and see how well they do. Check it out.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I got to tell you, this is like Fritz's polka band if they were Mexican.
Yes.
Perfect. Anyway, I just thought that was
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bo in New Hartford says, Bill, you have to unlock the doors and then the Charger releases. I love my CX-90.
Oh, you have one. Very nice. I got to say, I figured it out. But, I'm always flying in the morning. You're way behind. You're moving around. And I just, all right, now what do? I just unplug it, right? Well, it didn't work out that way.
And that makes sense, too, as a safety feature, I guess, so
Think
somebody
about it.
can't walk up and...
Right, they could come and just steal the cord, but you
have
can't.
to have the ability to unlock the door.
You can't do it. Let's see. I want to go to Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio. Homeland Security Committee hearing on the border crisis. And, Ryan, good morning. Thanks for coming on. What do we know on this?
Hey, good morning, guys. So we had this hearing yesterday, and the hearing was mostly focused on the cost of the border crisis. So if you guys remember who Tim Ballard is the a guy who works in anti-human trafficking, and he was featured in the film called The Sound of Freedom. So obviously he's gained a lot of notoriety over the last couple months since the film has been released. And he was talking about just the examples that he's seen of human trafficking along the southern border, and talked about how there are tens of thousands of kids who are missing, and right now they're unaccounted for, and who knows what they could be going through because the government has no track of where they are. So that was certainly an issue that was discussed. You had this other witness who was a woman from Alaska. So keep in mind, this is not a border state whatsoever. I mean, I guess it could be a border state if you look at Canada, but she was talking about how the cartels have had a presence all the way over in Alaska, where they're selling their drugs for a higher markup than they would in a big city like New York City, Dallas, Houston, you name it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's another way of another aspect of this that people aren't realizing how costly this is for the country,
and the possible child exploitation that's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And obviously there's some finger pointing when it comes to this issue. Obviously, the Republicans were trying to paint this as a crisis created by the Biden administration and Secretary Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Secretary, while you had Democrats on the committee try to argue that former President Trump's family separation policy has caused significant damage to a number of children who have crossed the southern border. Now, I think when we talk about policy and what could come of this, immigration reform has been something that's been floated through Congress. It's been tried through Congress a number of times, but it has not been able to pass. And right now you have Congressman Mike Lawler from New York, who's partnering with a number of representatives who represent border states and are, on a bipartisan basis. And they have a substantial border package / immigration reform package they're trying to pass, but it doesn't look like right now they've gotten enough bipartisan support and enough support from both sides to make an impact just yet.
Yeah. Like anything else, this has been going on for a long time, and it's really before. This has been a big problem before Biden, but before Trump. Long before.
Oh, gosh, yes.
So, and Congress has not done anything about it, and we as a country haven't. I mean, just think about the reaction we had at 9/11. We were attacked. We had a reaction. Right. It created a war. This is different. We fight back and forth, and at the end of the day, nothing seems to get done, and really both sides are to blame at some point along the line.
Certainly. Now, I may want to push back a little bit on one thing, because if you do look at where the federal government spends its money every year, the border does and border security gets billions on billions of dollars. So the budget is definitely there, and the money is definitely there. And Congress has definitely compromised and found ways to fund border security over the years. But I think there's always going to be that argument of, well, where are they spending the money wisely? Is it a policy thing? Remain in Mexico is something that's been debated whether or not we should return to that type of policy. There is an argument right now about designating drug cartels as terrorist organizations, which has gotten, mostly Republican support. There are some Republicans who caution against that, and it is not supported by the Biden administration. So I think when we talk about the money issue, the money looks like it's there, but the debate right now is, well, do we need immigration reform? Do we need asylum reform? There's a lot of different talks like that where Congress has not been effective yet.
Yeah, this is not a Congress that gets a lot done, this particular Congress. That is for darn sure. So, all right, Ryan, interesting stuff. Thank you so much.
Hey, have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Do the same. Thank you. Maybe the answer was the border wall, right? The problem is, even I thought I hit that. Even that didn't get completed. And maybe it's because of the fighting back and forth. I don't know the answer. Short of building a wall all the way around the country, how do we protect how do we end up protecting the borders? I don't know how we do it.
Yeah, it's not very easy. It's to the point you were just making, though. I feel like. And I feel like this happened a lot with Trump, especially with the border, where it was whatever he said about whatever security measure or people or whatever, it becomes picked up by the other side. And I remember Pelosi saying things like no one's illegal, walls are racist, stuff like that. So then it becomes like, okay, well then we can't secure the border because then we're doing, I don't know, we're being bad neighbors. I don't know exactly, but it becomes there's a lot of vitriol and hate that the two sides throw against each other, and it's kind of ironic sometimes to hear like a Democratic mayor like Eric Adams saying you got to fix this problem. It's a major issue, because previously we would had heard that from a lot of GOP governors.
It's on his doorstep right now.
Right, correct.
Let me break. And coming up, the TV, the Actors Guild, and the writers' strike, and all of what's going on is already, and I guess it's been going for a while, but it is definitely affecting the content that you are watching. I don't know. Tonight, CBS is debuting. What are they calling it? Like buddy games or something? It was advertised all during football over last weekend. It seems like the dumbest program ever, and was probably going to land on one of their streaming services, a show that nobody was going to watch. But now it's being promoted, and it's prime time on CBS tonight. There's just a lot of junk you're going to start seeing, a lot of reality TV, a lot of these contests and games, and even Jeopardy is running, but with old questions, because they don't have any writers to write the new questions. But there are a few things worth checking out, and I have one of them coming up in a second to throw at you. And maybe this never would have seen the light of day without the writer's strike, but either way, it might be something worth watching. I'll tell you what that is coming up in a second. Stand by. Quick break. It's Thursday morning, 6:48 at WIBX.
John and Marie heard about Mattress Express's newest promotion, where you simply stop in, perform a simple comfort test, and get a prepaid $25 Visa card. They went to Mattress Express's location in New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. They tried Tempur-Pedic. They tried Stearns & Foster. They tried the 9 different purple mattresses. They loved them all. They settled on the Q9 King number bed by Instant Comfort in a flex head. John liked his side firm. We set it to 40, elevated his head and feet, said he'd never been more comfortable. Marie liked her side softer. She was an 18. What a difference. Elevated her head a little higher, her feet a little less. They said it was like they were each in their own custom bed. They qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down, did not give us a nickel up front. They, for their luxury rewards, selected a 75-inch flat screen TV. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. Come to any Mattress Express, perform a simple comfort test, and get a $25 prepaid Visa card.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
WIBX 950 and 1069 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, a Thursday morning. Boy, you noticed it was fairly warm and a little bit muggy yesterday, and then all of a sudden, the cooler air just made its way through, right? And did you feel that it was really good sleeping weather last night?
It was, yeah. It was about 10 degrees, 12 degrees cooler last night than it was the previous few nights.
And when you take a look at the forecast moving forward over the course of the next few days and going into this weekend, it actually looks pretty darn good, despite the fact that this hurricane is probably going to get pretty darn close to New England. They're expecting certainly high tides and shore damage and that sort of thing. But temperatures this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we look like either sunshine or partly sunny skies through the whole weekend, and temperatures in the low 70s. It looks like we're in for a beautiful fall weekend. Hard to believe we're saying fall, but we certainly are. All right, Milli Vanilli, the documentary. Are you ready for it?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, this was a huge...
It's so ironic that this comes out during the writer's strike.
Right.
It's a documentary about 2 singers who didn't actually sing. We have a writer's strike, and now this new documentary comes out. I wonder who wrote it, AI?
It is a documentary on Milli Vanilli, and you're right. This was the they were huge, though.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, early 90s, Milli Vanilli was enormous. And then we discovered, as you said, it was somebody else doing the singing. Davey, you're a big Milli Vanilli fan.
I like their one song, "Blame It on the Rain."
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, you sound just like them. Check out part of the trailer for the upcoming Milli Vanilli documentary. It begins, by the way, streaming in October on which service is it? Paramount Plus. Check out the
They had it all.
1 minute Milli Vanilli were there.
Milli Vanilli.
The next minute they weren't.
They don't want us to sing. What? This is weird. We don't want to lip sync. Someone had to have known this was going on.
There's no real crime here.
But it costs a life. But you make a pact with the devil.
There is not another story like this in music history.
Yeah, that we know of anyway, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do we take it away from the Beach Boys to find out that they weren't really the band, the Beach Boys? They weren't really playing on some of their songs. It was other musicians that were playing. They were singing, but they weren't playing. In this case, they had won a Grammy for Best New Artist in 1990, and they had to revoke the Grammy because they really weren't the artists.
So, didn't this happen on a set somewhere where they?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember how it came down. They were a German-French R&B duo, and I'm assuming, remember Fab and Rob. The group was founded by music producer Frank Farian. He re-recorded their vocals with it. Now, they sang on the original tracks, but he didn't like the singing, so he re-recorded using studio artists to re-record the vocals with other performers. But they had the right look. They were told to lip-sync in concert. Their debut album, All or Nothing, in Europe, reconfigured as Girl You Know It's True in the U.S., achieved international success, brought them a Grammy Award for Best New Artist in 1990. The album went 6 times platinum. When it was discovered, they weren't really singing, and the Grammys took it all back. They took back the award.
So on July 21st, 1989, the group was set to perform live at on MTV at Lake Compounce, a newly opened amphitheater at the park, which would hold 20,000 fans, as the group took the stage to perform its seminal hit, Girl, You Know It's True. An issue with a hard drive caused the backing tracks to skip, jump, and repeat, exposing Milli Vanilli had actually been lip syncing the song while on stage.
Do you remember when that happened to, who was the singer?
Ashley Simpson?
Ashley Simpson on SNL. That you saw completely live, and holy crap, that was terrible.
It was terrible. Here's the thing, I guess.
Especially the way she just kind of, if you remember, she just kind of danced off the stage.
It was very awkward, yeah.
Oh, boy.
But, so in that particular example, like with the Ashley Simpson situation, like the SNL folks knew it was lip synced. You know what I mean? It's just funny. That looked so bad on the air. It wasn't a secret. It's not like only her people knew she was lip syncing.
Even the Milli Vanilli thing. The studio had to know.
Right.
Whoever was doing sound had to know. Don't turn their mics up. So everybody knew. I just don't. But I feel like once it gets out, then they're like, okay, well, we can't hide this anymore. Okay, and this is the other part of this that Greeley brings up. And if you watch any performances from the 1960s and the 1970s, they were all lip syncing. Every act that came on was what it seemed they were lip syncing. Just think about it. Even today, when you see an artist perform, like when the Today Show does their thing out on the
street
patio or whatever,
sunshine in the background. Yeah,
you know, you're hearing instruments, and you're thinking, I don't see a keyboard. Where is that coming from? Well, there's a backtrack. There's a backing track, and you're hearing background singers. Where are the background singers? You wonder. Maybe they're somewhere hidden. No, it's a track. So, but the lip syncing thing was, and really bad lip syncing was done in the 60s and 70s. At least by the time you got to the 80s and 90s, they were doing it pretty well. I mean, it was pretty good.
So I guess the thing that, again, this is the part that confuses me. I understand it, and like allegedly this happens during the Super Bowl sometime. Sometimes it's the performer singing, but for that actual performance, they're lip syncing, but to their own lyrics and song and voice.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't understand why it's okay in certain situations.
A lot of times today, what you get with the stuff that you see maybe during the Super Bowl, or another classic is the Macy's Thanksgiving Day
in the
parade.
New Year's Eve, right? Probably.
I guess that's probably
but
true too.
Macy's,
the Macy's
right? They're not
parade
really singing
is
driving
classic
down the road
because you see them there, and it's clearly they're not singing. Then somebody's got to make their mic live because they say thank you everybody, and if they say thank you everybody and the mic's not live, that would look really, really bad. But I think that you get a lot of, like the Super Bowl, you'll get a song where the backing track kicks in and there's lip syncing going on, and then the artist goes live, and then it's back to the lip syncing, and then the artist goes live. So I think it's just really well rehearsed. But this just backfired terribly. And then when you find out on the Vanilli thing, where in that it is, they aren't even singing.
Right.
A lot of these lip syncing things that are going on, it's the actual artist singing,
and
they're lip singing to their own,
but
lip
not with
syncing
them.
to their own singing.
Yeah.
And with these guys, they weren't the artists; they were just the face, and that's why this thing. I think it's a documentary that I will watch. There's another documentary out there that I think is on Showtime, and you can check it out. It's an awesome story of the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. It's kind of one of the it's really the comedy club that created comedy clubs the way they are today. It's a great documentary with some huge names, from Letterman to Leno and all the comedy greats from the 70s and 80s. And, you know, that's still open, I believe, today. But you can check it out. It's on
Have you seen it?
Showtime. Yeah, it's a series, so we're in episode number 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you're just looking. You're looking for something to watch at night.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
At least we are. Listen, I got a break. Coming up, much to get to next hour. Oh, by the way, today's free money question of the day, Davey, is worth how much?
$400.
$400 on the line.
400 smackers.
400 smackers on the way. We'll give you a chance to win that coming up next hour. Dr. Shemaleski with some advice for the upcoming fall. Coming up at WIBX.
Exergen is the smart choice when selecting a thermometer. As children return to school, keeping them healthy is important. Got a fever? Stay home. To detect fever accurately at home, you need a fast, non-invasive, and clinically accurate thermometer. Exergen provides all of that and is backed by over 100 clinical studies. Accuracy matters. Be smart and safe. Measure temperature accurately with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
He doesn't know why Republicans want to impeach him. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what the president told supporters last night, saying he gets up every day, not a joke, not focused on impeachment.
President Biden addressing the impeachment inquiry for the very first time last night while he was speaking at a fundraiser in Virginia. Now he says, quote, I'm focused on the things the American people want me to be focused on. The best I can tell is they want to impeach me because they want to shut down the government. Now, the president's comments come as Speaker McCarthy works to round up enough votes to fund the government and avoid a federal shutdown at the end of the month. Now, that's a matter unrelated to this impeachment inquiry. Meanwhile, the White House is maintaining the president's innocence.
Fox's Brooks Singman. Now, Speaker McCarthy tells Fox it's about abuse of power and corruption as Republicans probe allegations the president was involved in his son's lucrative overseas business dealings.
The Bidens have given the marching orders to the media. They know that they do not want to provide the information to the American people, and the American people deserve it.
A loss for the president in federal court. A judge sides with states ruling DACA is illegal. That's the Obama-era program shielding some migrants brought to the U.S. illegally as kids from deportation.
The Biden administration revised DACA last year, but that change wasn't enough. The judge also barred the government from taking new DACA applications, but left the program as is for existing recipients. The newest ruling means DACA will most likely go before the Supreme Court for the third time.
That's Fox's Jill Nato. Ford and GM and Chrysler parent Stellantis are on deadline today.
We are preparing to strike these companies in a way they've never seen before.
UAW President Shawn Fain, that auto workers strike tomorrow potentially could be targeted at certain locations at first as the union demands a big pay raise and more benefits. In Libya, the mayor of the flood-devastated city of Derna fears the number of deaths could reach 20,000. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
We have partly cloudy skies, 53 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's. Shop My Carl's today for the lowest prices, no credit needed financing, and fast same-day delivery in the New Hartford Shopping Center and Destiny, USA. Utica police making an arrest in connection with a shooting incident that occurred on Kemble Street earlier this week. Authorities say 42-year-old Tyrell Royster allegedly opened fire Tuesday afternoon. A woman was struck by the gunfire. She's still recovering from her injuries. Royster was taken into custody after a search warrant was executed on his vehicle. Cops say they found a loaded .40 caliber gun inside the vehicle. He now faces multiple charges. Turning Stone Resort and Casino revealing the grand opening date for a brand new club. A modern sports book and lounge called New York Rec and Social Club will be welcoming customers starting on December 6th. It'll be the first venue to open as part of Turning Stone's $370 million expansion. Anyone interested in a position at the club can attend a job fair that's happening September 26th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Governor Kathy Hochul signing a new bill aimed at cracking down on those annoying telemarketing calls. It would help reduce the number of those calls by almost doubling the maximum fine that telemarketers face for violating the Do Not Call registry. Now, additionally, the governor also approved a bill giving people the chance to be added to a company's Do Not Call list at the beginning of a telemarketing call. She says the new law sends a message that New York will not tolerate these calls. The biggest gun show in New York heading to Syracuse this weekend. The Syracuse Gun Show happening Saturday and Sunday at the Center of Progress building on the New York State Fairgrounds. There will be about 1,000 exhibitors and displays from gun dealers and collectors from all across the United States. And the Savannah Bananas, we're winding down the Major League Baseball season, the regular season anyway, but the Savannah Bananas will be at NBT Bank Stadium coming up tonight. It's recommended everyone who is headed out there get there early because all seating is general admission. It's a unique baseball show, if you will. Smitty, I think, very accurately described them as the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Remember some of the things that used to happen in minor league baseball? You'd have the Clown Prince of Baseball, and you'd have Morgana, the Kissing Bandit, would show up. You'd always,
San Diego Chicken.
The San Diego Chicken would have a thing. This is like that, but a little bit different, right?
Yeah, they play
really
music.
Yeah.
Again, Harlem Globetrotters is a great analogy. At some points during the game, you might see the home plate umpire doing like a dance, right? Just like they used to get the
Don't they do that already,
court.
though?
The MLB officials?
Yeah.
Most of them don't look like they can dance.
That's a very good point.
Some large guys there. But, yeah, it's a pretty cool thing, and it is set up where I think they often win. They do trick shots, trick pitches, all kinds of stuff, and it's a fun experience. So, anyway.
And they're coming to Cooperstown over the weekend, too, to play.
So, tonight in Syracuse, this weekend.
I believe it's Saturday in Cooperstown.
All right, fair enough.
And that is weather permitting. But, Bill, as you pointed out, we've got a nice dry run of weather coming up here. Here's what we can expect later today from Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, breezy and cooler, a few spotty lake-enhanced sprinkles early, then becoming partly to mostly sunny, a high near 65. Tonight, mostly clear, turning chilly, low near 45. And on Friday, all day sunshine, nice and comfortable, high 72. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
All right, in sports, week 2 already. Can you believe it's week 2 of the NFL season? It kicks off tonight right here on WIBX. Our coverage begins at 7:30. The Philadelphia Eagles, the defending NFC champions, host Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings at the Lincoln Financial Field. Eagles 1-0. The Vikings stumbled out of the gate. They come in at 0-1. Again, coverage of the game tonight begins at 7:30 right here on WIBX. Aaron Rodgers says he's completely heartbroken after jumping on social media discussing his torn Achilles. He also thanked everyone who's reached out to him. Meantime, Jets head coach Robert Saleh says he hasn't even asked Rodgers yet about a return to the team, but said he'd be shocked if that's the way he's going out and ending his career. Meanwhile, this is something Richard touched on this week. The Players Association is calling for the league to switch all stadium fields to natural grass. This comes after the Rodgers injury. MetLife Stadium, where the Jets and Giants play, switched to a new playing surface called Field Turf this year. The executive director, Lloyd Howell of the Players Association, said switching to natural grass is the easiest decision the league can make. He also claimed players overwhelmingly prefer natural grass and noted that data shows it's safer than artificial turf. Baseball yesterday, the Mets blew out the Diamondbacks 7-1. They'll wrap up their 4-game series at Citi Field coming up later today. Yankees rained out again, so they'll play 2 more today, another doubleheader in this series. a 1:35 start and a 7:15 scheduled start. Yankees come in 73 and 72. Both the Sox and the Pinstripes are tied for dead last in the American League East. How about that?
Okay, coming up, we have a lot. Mayor Mark Blask from Little Falls is on. We have Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zielinski from the Falcon Clinic. And this morning, they're going to be talking about getting yourself ready for the fall virus season. Always a good time. And I think this has a lot to do with the minute we're all indoors, right?
Yeah.
This stuff starts to spread. And this morning's free money question of the day is worth $400. Great question coming along. We'll do that coming up after 7:30. Our wanted person of the week from Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers as well. Got a busy hour on the way, 7:09 at WIBX.
When we get together with others, we can do more. On September 20th, nonprofit organizations will come together to ask for your support through Mohawk Valley Gives, the community's 24-hour giving day. But don't wait. Give now or anytime this month. Either way, every dollar counts, and you'll show everybody that Mohawk Valley Gives. Powered by the Community Foundation, MV Gives is proudly sponsored by Staffworks and M&T Bank and brought to you by Town Square Media.
Go green and save green right now at City Suburban. There has never been a better way to heat and cool your home than with a new Mitsubishi electric heat pump system from City Suburban. They provide energy-efficient comfort year-round, are whisper quiet, 40% more efficient than conventional systems, and offer room-by-room temperature control. And the best part is right now you can save up to $9,000 in rebates with the New York State Clean Heat Program while funds are available. Go green and make the switch today. And as always, receive City Suburban's POMG. That's peace of mind guarantee.
This is Chris from City Suburban on Route 233 in Westmoreland. There has never been a better time to upgrade your system than right now. You can save up to $9,000 with New York State Clean Heat rebates and make your home more comfortable and efficient for years to come. Call us today at 853-3899. That's 853-3899. Or visit us at citysuburban.com.
I'm Irene Kurtelowicz, and I've been a hospice nurse for over 32 years. My passion and my love is to take care of our hospice patients and families who are at home surrounded by the people and the things they love most. Our hospice team brings comfort, continuity, dignity, and compassion 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The patient and their caregiver never need to feel alone. We are just a phone call away. Family members always want the best of care for their loved one. And one of the things hospice affords me is the opportunity to go above and beyond the normal care that a person could receive. My position allows me to provide quality care to the patient and provide much needed support to the family. Patients do not want to leave the comfort of their home and their loved ones. We all know there is no place like home, and it is our privilege and honor to care for them wherever they call home. I encourage anyone who could benefit from our services to call today.
Hospice and palliative care. When you need us most.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss, even when you monitor your credit. If your identity is stolen, your dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
At Consumer Cellular, you get the same exact coverage as the largest carriers, but for up to half the cost. Same thing, up to half the cost. Up to half the cost for the same thing. 50% the money for 100% the same thing. I hope I'm making myself clear. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single-line 5GB data plan with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single-line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plan offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Yeah. Wow. You can see the sweat on the ankles at that.
Wow.
I'm sure I'll have a stiff neck when it's over. Good morning. It's 7:13. I want to tell you that if you'd like to help out a veteran here, we have a great way for you to reward. We'll put you both right over into here. And, Jeff, maybe you can arrange the camera there. So if you'd like to assist a veteran, this is what we have for you. New York Sash, I should say River Hills Properties, has put together a great plan for hero tickets for the Jimmy Fallon Show, along with Kennedy coming to the Stanley Theater on November 11th. It just so happens that is Veterans Day. You can call up the Stanley box office or visit the box office and purchase a ticket, a pair of tickets, 4 tickets, whatever you like, and say these are hero tickets, and they'll know exactly what to do. They set those tickets aside. We work through the Veteran Centers locally, and through River Hills Properties, we give those tickets to a veteran to go to the show, a veteran that might not be able to afford to come into the show. So it's a great way to give back to veterans. Of course, the show, Jimmy Fallon, who, by the way, will be on the air tomorrow morning.
Yes.
He'll be with us. Davey, thanks for setting that up.
I set that up.
No, Davey always has to approve it. So you called Jimmy. Jimmy immediately said, hold on, I'll be right with you.
Yeah.
He reached out to Davey, who said, yep, you can do it tomorrow.
Well, when I was coordinating that,
through Davey,
Tamara, who is lovely, we kind of shared a little laugh about what's the call-in number, and I said, Smitty's got him on speed dial. It doesn't.
Yes.
And she said, that's right.
It is true.
They communicate often, so there's no issue with getting a hold of one side or the other.
Fair enough, Davey?
Fair enough, Bill.
What are we going to be talking about with him tomorrow? Obviously, the upcoming show.
And political stuff.
And some political stuff. And
he's got a new book coming out
in
January.
He's got a brand new book. Yeah.
Speaking of live shows, which that will be a great one and a hilarious one coming up on Veterans Day with Jimmy Fallon. Ann in Rome says, I saw the Shangri-Las. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
At the Suburban Park, they sang Leader of the Pack. We knew they were lip-syncing. The record skipped. The record kept skipping, and there was a motorcycle sound, but no motorcycle there.
So she saw at Suburban. So I wonder when. So Suburban Park, maybe she saw them.
State Fair?
Well, there is a Suburban Park now at the State Fair, but the original Suburban Park, I wonder if this goes back. She saw him in the 60s or 70s.
And clarify that if you could.
Yeah. Not that Ann is that old to go back that far back.
Yeah, I don't even think she was born then. But when I saw Suburban Park, I guess I assumed State Fair. But you're right.
Well,
this is probably a venue.
The State Fair's Suburban Park venue is named after the original Suburban Park in Syracuse.
Oh, I thought it was a Chevy sponsorship, to be honest.
Chevy
she said yes,
Suburban.
the original one.
The original one, yeah. Very cool. I have relatives who used to live near there, and we would stay there in the summertime. Very, very cool. Okay, in studio right now is Dr. Zielinski and Dr. Shemaleski from the Falcon Clinic. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow, both microphones work. That's really awesome. So, all right, here we are. But keep them nice and tight if you could, gentlemen. So,
is it blurry? My eyesight's terrible.
I
can't
think you're
tell
looking
if they're
pretty
in
good.
focus. There we go.
So, gentlemen, doctors, if you could, we're heading into, well, Doc, you're calling it the virus season, but it's the fall. That's when we start getting indoors, schools back in session, and all of that. Let's talk about how we can be prepared for the upcoming season. Who wants to take that one?
Yeah. Well, some people would call it a dangerous season, a virus season, whatever. I would just call it fall,
Yeah.
It's the kind of stuff that happens all the time, And like, what is one politician once said, why waste a good crisis,
That's right. Let's take advantage here.
Yeah. And we have had crisis in the past, but the thing is that we always have something going on, and the sky is not going to fall,
But however, if you're in a situation, you're fighting a terrible disease or cancer or something like that, obviously you have to be a little more careful in the fall.
Well, this is one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about this. There are a number of different approaches to the fall season or the virus season or whatever you want to call it. One of them is to get information from the CDC, which in the past has been a great source of information for professionals and non-professionals. Or my favorite medical journal, YouTube.
or Dr. Google.
Yes. Or you can do nothing, right?
Yeah.
Or you can be quite critical about things, and you can follow different people who really wonder, is the sky falling and what can we do? And then there are other people in the camp who say, well, whatever you say, we are going to trust the pharmaceutical industry. And others say, well, we've already been down that road, and there's a big controversy on so many things in terms of treatment.
You've been around for a while. You're very young.
Thank you.
But you've been around for a while.
Oh, you're looking at Dr. Zelinsky.
So what I would ask you is this basically this? We question everything, every vaccine now, and maybe this is because of Facebook, but maybe this has always been that way. So, Dr. Chmielewski, because you've been around, is this new?
Definitely not. We've changed about face so many times on different things.
Yeah.
Whether it was treatment of alcoholism, epilepsy, sexually transmitted diseases. There was a song long ago, VD is for everybody. That was a big shocker on TV back in the 70s,
Was it thought that it was a good thing? VD is for everybody.
I meant that to say that anybody can get it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it wasn't a value judgment.
Okay. Where's mine?
But now we've gone through the controversy, of the pandemic, with COVID.
That's certainly driven a lot of this.
Yes, it has, and I think
have you ever
people
seen
have
it where
become disenchanted.
Where you had almost the Republicans versus Democrats? Was it like that back then? Because it kind of is today.
Yeah,
however,
split.
as you get older, I do think people are more apt to ignore the politics, and they fear a little more. I think and get
I've
stuff
never
done.
seen it as political as
it is
has
now.
become.
Yeah.
In fact, years ago, I can't even remember, looking at a doctor or a nurse or some professional, seeing, what is their political
Right,
leaning.
right.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. All I want is their politics to make me better. Whatever that is.
That'll never happen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But one thing I did want to say is that there, in terms of like this upcoming stuff with the COVID, the flu, and RSV, the CDC's stance is that we have like a group of vaccines now. The RSV vaccine is coming out now for those people, 60 and over, or people who are, have comorbid conditions like immunosuppressed diseases, medicines are for cancer and stuff like that, that they should be getting the RSV vaccine, The same thing with flu, every year 30 to 40,000 people die from complications of influenza. We forget about that.
Right.
And then there's the COVID.
And that tends to be 30 to 40,000. Tends to be a good year because it can be worse than that. Yeah.
And the last statistic I got is the flu vaccine decreases your chance of hospitalization and death by about 40 to 60%. So the business of the flu vaccine, I'm very supportive of. The COVID is a new thing, and it's interesting that the CDC is really pushing that.
Yeah, they're all in right now.
They really are pushing it. And I'm not saying I'm against it, okay? I think it's a personal decision. One of the people that I follow is Dr. John Campbell. He's, I think, from Scotland. He's a renowned, infectious disease specialist in public health. And he's surprised that in the United Kingdom, why they are pushing the vaccine like they are in the United States. And his point, not mine, his point is that there really is no data to show, first of all, that this is going to be any worse than any other previous COVIDs. And he said, I don't really understand why the government is pushing this.
Yeah.
For the listeners out there, you can answer that question yourself because I don't have the answer.
So if a patient comes to you, though, and says, Doc, should I get the vaccine? What do you guys, what do you say?
Do you want me to take that one? So as you could imagine, we have this conversation with patients quite a bit. And as a matter of fact,
a lot of people are asking right now.
Oh, yeah. Especially this time of year. I had a couple of new patients actually who established primary care with me for the first time yesterday, and I told them, basically, like we've talked about in the past, one thing in the humblest way possible that people really like about the Falcon Clinic is we don't ram medications down people's throat. We don't ram vaccines down people's throat. Now, if you want those things, I am happy to get them for you.
Yeah.
But, it is your choice, your autonomy. You're the patient, you're the boss. Now, one of the patients who I had was, a lady in her 90s, and she had, rather advanced heart failure. And we decided, hey, it'd probably be a good idea for you to get the flu shot and the latest booster, for example, because, God forbid, if you got those things with your underlying conditions, you could get pretty sick. Now, with that being said, that's my recommendation. All I can do as a physician is make a recommendation. You do with that information as you will. But, you're the patient, you're the boss, but that's what I recommend.
All right.
And just to give everybody, an idea of how we do vaccines at the Falcon Clinic as far as what we carry, don't carry. So we do flu shots. We just got them for this upcoming flu season, including the high dose for the folks who are over 65, for people who are interested. And then we also have Tdap's, the tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis vaccines. Those it's recommended to keep updated once every 10 years. So you don't need a new booster every fall like the flu shot or like the COVID shots that are always coming out with a new one every couple months for the folks who get them. We don't do COVID shots, so we tell the patients who are interested in them, talk to your pharmacist or talk to the health department. And anybody else who needs like a hepatitis or an MMR, a lot of the pharmacies, thankfully, are carrying these things, as does the health department. So people are usually able to get in there pretty easily. And then as far as the RSV, the new one that I think we're going to spend a little bit of time on here because that's the buzz one now. So for this particular season, and Dr. Shimoleski, correct me if I'm wrong, we've decided at the Falcon Clinic we're not going to carry it for this particular season. Because it's fairly new. We're going to try to see how many people ask for it. Again, a lot of the pharmacies and the health department are capable of doing it for the folks who want it, and we can't give it to them. Depending on what the demand is, we may decide to do it next year. We may not, but we don't have the data for that just yet.
All right. And Doc, what advice when somebody says, Dr. Chmielewski, when somebody says, what do you think? What do you do? What do you think I should do?
That's a very good question.
Because you will get that question.
Yeah, I think we're in kind of a golden age with the stuff after the pandemic, where we do have numbers of vaccines, pro and con, and we do have a bunch of medicines there now too. The biggest ones being Paxlovid and Lagevrio or Molnupiravir, and also ivermectin, which I'm a proponent of. Okay, so you have those things. But one thing that that you don't really have much discussion about is what can I as an individual do in either in prevention or if I am ill. All right, they don't talk about going out and getting a sun bath, having sun. They don't talk that much about vitamin D at 4,000 to 5,000 units a day, and zinc 25 to 50 milligrams a day. They don't talk about things like getting adequate sleep, reducing your stress, happiness in your life because moods make a big difference. Antioxidants, especially in like different fruits and vegetables. We talk about eating the rainbow, all of this stuff. So these are things that are helping. The other thing is I'm very supportive in neti pot or saline rinses of the nose, and on and on and on. There are a lot of things that we can do. And obviously, if you're coughing, runny nose, or you suggest you have something, I firmly believe that a mask will have some effect. Not a big one, but it'll have some effect. And then finally, the washing of the hands and staying away from people if you are sick. That would, I think, prevent a lot of illness.
I do agree in regard to the mask thing that you said, that obviously the virus, the viral particles are smaller than the pores of the mask. But I think that there's some benefit to having a barrier that's catching the droplets. It's at least doing something for the people who are sick. I agree with that. And then as we know from previous conversations that we had on the osteopathic side for the Falcon Clinic, sometimes when people have cleared the virus, they still get a little residual, sinus congestion, ribs aren't moving as well, and our osteopathic techniques can be quite effective at shaking out the last little bit of the cobwebs from the illness, so to speak.
Last one I want to ask you on is, because it's been, we've been involved with it. My wife had shingles very young. My dad has gone through it, and Dr. Chmielewski, because we've We've been in for treatment on that. The shingles shot, where do you guys stand on that? Because I've had people say to me, I don't know, be very careful. I had it and I had complications or what have you. And you wonder how, that's all anecdotal, right? Is it caused by the shot or is it caused by something else? Should people get this shingles shot?
So the shingles shot is definitely one that I recommend to everybody. Try your luck with the vaccine and not the disease itself, because as we know, there is post-herpetic neuralgia is a very unfortunate complication of shingles infection. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not aware of any instances of people developing post-herpetic neuralgia, which is the persistent pain that
from the vaccine.
From the vaccine.
Okay.
I'm not aware of any instances. Doc, are you?
I also don't know. I know when I had my shot, I will say it did hurt a little bit in the shoulder.
Yeah, that's what
when
I've
I
heard,
had
yeah.
it, you know. So, but that's a small price to pay, you know, when you consider people who get shingles, and that can keep you out of commission for 2 weeks,
or longer,
you know, or longer,
Or
yeah.
longer.
And
I've
then
seen that.
you know, if you do get post-herpetic neuralgia, it can be quite painful. And in some cases, it's a game changer. It can destroy you.
Are we as a society doing the right thing by forcing, and schools today require kids get the chickenpox vaccine? And is that going to rid us of chickenpox and ultimately shingles as time goes on?
Well, I'm not a pediatrician. I would almost reserve that to somebody else.
Let me ask you this
Yeah.
then, because this is with the writer's strike, we're going deep into the collection of things that we're watching on TV. And my wife found this I guess it's a series / documentary, and it goes around the world. There are pockets around the world, maybe 5 or 6 different areas, and one of them actually is in the United States. I haven't gotten to that episode yet. But these are areas around the world where there is a high concentration of people over 100 years old that are living active lives, not sedentary. They're living active lives, and they're well over 100, 105, 110 years old. Yeah. And for some reason in these certain areas, there are a lot of them. Yeah. So a lot of it seems to be coming back to a lot of the osteopathy that you two are talking about, and that is diet, the exercise, the fact that you're not sitting in front of the television, the foods that you eat, and all of that. Talk a little bit about that, if you would. It's an interesting documentary if you get a chance to check it out.
I think you're talking about the blue zones, of which there are 7 of them.
That's exactly it.
Studied on there. Yeah. And it really is interesting. Some of the things they don't touch on is that for most of these places, a little bit of alcohol on an almost daily basis, maybe 1 or 2 ounces of alcohol, whether it's wine or vodka, it may have something to do. Community, eating with other people. Religious convictions, regardless of what your sway is on, that makes a huge difference.
And you mentioned happiness, and I think one of the commonalities through this, all of it, is they don't. These are people that don't hold grudges. They're not in constant stress and arguments.
I think God does not want grumpy people.
I think that might be it. But here you are. You know, what would make an area, and you call this blue zone, and 7 places around the world, what would make them be able to live as long and healthy as they have? And a lot of it has to do with their practices, their diet, and all these other conditions. It's very, very interesting.
I think the thing that Dr. Shimoleski said that spoke the strongest to me, and this is my speculation, I don't know this for sure, is the aspect of community. That throughout the lifespan, from birth into old age, these communities engage all of the members of the community, including even when they get to be in their 90s and well into their hundreds. They're still active mentally and physically. They're still, participating in religious services. They're still eating, with their family and maybe even, some of their neighbors and stuff like that. I think keeping people engaged mentally and physically across the lifespan is so incredibly important and also so inherently osteopathic.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Just a 2-pronged follow-up to that. Your opinion on this. Those blue zones we're talking about. I want to watch this documentary. You got to tell me.
You got to watch it, and even in one of the cases, they live on a hill, and it's a very kind of a remote area. You've seen this. You've seen the series. So they're constantly, the woman goes to church every day. She's like 109 years old.
Right.
But she's walking up this steep hill to church every day. And she's, it's not one thing. Doc, would you agree? It's not one thing. It's a combination of a lot of different things.
It isn't, and the formulas may be slightly different. Based on.
Yeah.
And the Blue Zone is named after, looking at these different places, they used a blue ink marker. And they circle the area, the geographic area, so they call that the Blue Zone.
And why are all these people over 100 years old? They got to be doing something right.
And I haven't seen the specific documentary that you're referring to, but I've seen that specific clip, and yes, it is profound.
Yeah, it's something.
Your opinion, factored into that equation, is climate any part of that, or the region and the nutrients that might be in the soil in a particular part of the country?
Well, what I found out of this, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is that you feel like it is until you go to another blue zone, and it's a completely different climate and situation, right?
That's along the lines of what I was thinking. So again, I don't know this for sure. My speculation, I would say no for exactly the same reason that Bill just put forth there.
But it seems that people who live in, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But it seems that if, people who have more sunshine do tend to live a little bit longer.
There's no ugly fat people, unhealthy people in San Diego. Like you can scour the beaches, you won't find them.
We're screwed.
I just wondered how much the sunshine matters.
We are screwed because we don't get a lot of sunshine. It feels.
On the topic of community and tying it back to the discussion about vaccines, if I could offer one more quick thing. Right. So, say that you as a patient, you're 20 years old, you're healthy as a horse, you take no medications. Why do I need to get the flu shot, or why do I need to get a COVID booster, whatever? I would, and someone who meets those criteria is at pretty low risk for complications from flu, COVID, et cetera. But I would challenge that person who thinks that they don't need a shot, and again, they're the patient, they're the boss when all is said and done. Who is around you? Think of your, if you're a school teacher, for example, maybe some of the kids in your classroom have asthma, and if they caught, some kind of
live with someone who's elderly, who might be frail,
or maybe your wife is pregnant and is really looking to not get sick.
So think about somebody else.
Correct.
Okay, that's
and
fair.
then once you've examined yourself, and once you've examined the people around you, and the people around me are also pretty healthy and stuff like that, then maybe you really don't need to get that stuff. Again, you're still the patient, you're still the boss, but I would just encourage everyone to think not just of themselves, but of their community as well when they're thinking about the decision to vaccinate or to not vaccinate.
All right. Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Shemileski, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for giving us a chance to go over it. You have big questions, and it would be like maybe a 2-hour program to go through all the different things.
What do you think? Am I creating a blue zone in my neighborhood? You think?
You look like the poster boy for blue zones.
I do. I feel like hundreds on the way for me.
There you go.
I feel like it's just the Bills and Mets memorabilia.
It might be.
That's your blue zone.
That's my blue and orange.
Is it okay if I just give the phone number real quick?
Please, yes. Go ahead.
So for anyone who's interested in setting up an appointment with the Falcon Clinic for the consultation, we are still taking new patients. Our number is 315-507-4751, and we are in Washington Mills, New York.
All right.
Thank you.
By the way, Mike says, Dr. Shemileski, I'm assuming when you say to eat the rainbow, you're not telling people to eat Skittles.
No,
okay.
Definitely not.
Fair enough.
Don't eat processed foods if you can. Try to eat natural. Cook with other people. Maybe have a little glass of wine or a shot of bourbon, if you will, and just be happy.
And that is, check this series out. This is a really interesting program. Do you remember the name of it? I don't.
I'll get it. We'll share it with the
audience. We'll figure it out. We'll share it in a second. Doc, thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Let me do this right now. And then I got a bunch more to get to. Mayor Blask in Little Falls coming up. Please stand by. Investigator Karsick is on the line from the United County Sheriff's Office. And let's do that right now. It's the Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week. Investigator, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you, sir?
Good. So who are we looking for this week?
So this week we are looking for an individual by the name of, first name is going to be Derek, middle initial S, last name Kraus. He's a white male, 47 years of age. He's approximately 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighs approximately 190 pounds. He's bald, has brown eyes, and currently our office holds one arrest warrant for the charge of grand larceny for him.
So this is someone that you would say has had a residence in the Westmoreland area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We believe currently he's homeless / he's kind of bouncing around, from place to place. We've dealt with this individual in the past, and we know that he, we know that he's has been in multiple different places, but his last known address is going to be in the town of Washburn.
Okay, fair enough. And again, Crime Stoppers is a great organization where you are able to give details and tips to police through the app, through the website, or by calling a phone number. And Saheed, investigator, it is 100% anonymous. That's the beauty of this.
That's correct, Bill.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
Investigator Karczyk from the Oneida County Sheriff's Office. By the way, do you want the name of the program?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
I think it's just simply Live to 100, Secrets of the Blue Zones.
Live to 100, Secrets of the Blue Zones. And there are 7 of them around the country. And each time we watch an episode, my wife says, "You don't have a chance." I don't know what she means by that.
It's never too late to turn that
I guess
ship
that's
around.
true. It's never too late.
The U.S. location that you referenced that is a blue zone is Loma Linda, California. I'm sure they have plenty of sunshine there. And again, as the doctors kind of mentioned here, it's kind of simple here. The formula for many of them, make it a habit to move, even if it's walking or gardening. A positive outlook is everything. Eat wisely. Connect with others as often as possible. And they don't mean on Twitter or X or social media. I think they mean face-to-face.
Like really, yeah, connecting with people. And the other thing that in one of the episodes that I watched I thought was very interesting, the woman just said, be happy. I don't fight with people. I don't sweat the little things. I'm happy. I'm a happy person. And what astounded me about these people over the age of 100 is how mobile they are, how sharp they are, and you're not I mean, like, you'll hear someone say, "There's no way I want to live to 100." I couldn't even think about. I mean, I feel this way now. What would I feel like at 100? These people are active, and it's really amazing. There's something to learn by watching this thing. So again, it's Live to 100. The Blue Zones.
Yes. Live to 100, Secrets of the Blue Zones. And if I can just mention and say good morning to her, my Aunt Bunny, my grandmother's sister, we just celebrated her 99th birthday.
Wow.
Now, she's got some vision loss. She wears a hearing aid. But when she wears it, she can hear everything. But it's amazing to see, like, how functional she is. And, like, she doesn't kind of get up with aches and pains. She just kind of it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah,
if
you
I
hope
can
to be as healthy as she when you get to that age. Listen, I want to say one thing. As a Bills fan, the red zone, not the blue zone, is going to kill me. It's going to take me early because every time Josh Allen seems to get in the red zone, well, this was last year. What would happen, Davey?
Sacked.
He would sacked or threw an interception.
Yep, right.
It's the red zone that'll kill you. Focus on the blue zone. Let's do the free money question of the day from Hobica. This morning, this will get you going, put you in a good mood. The jackpot is worth this morning $400. And, Davey, we're going with caller number what right now?
Caller 8.
8th caller through the lines at 315-736-0186. Caller number 8 right now. Big jackpot on the way. Next on WIBX.
It's hosting season, and Ashley has everything you need at Central New York's newest furniture and mattress store, Ashley, on the River Road in the Marcytown Plaza in Marcy. Get your home hosting ready for company with guest-approved essentials like a 92-inch Ashley sofa for just $10 a month or $4.99, or a 72-inch 6-drawer table and 4 chairs just $15 a month or $7.99, or a 5-piece antique white queen bedroom for just $19 a month or $9.99. And Ashley Hybrid Queen mattresses are just $6 a month or only $2.99. Plus, we offer special no-interest financing options for every budget with up to 5 years interest-free. And right now, you can save on accessories store-wide to finish every look, from minor refreshes to total overhauls. Ashley has the items needed to make your home functional, fabulous, and friends and family ready. Experience the joy of home suite hosting with help from Ashley. In-store only at the Marcytown Plaza on River Road in Marcy. Stop in today.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS. Call Civic Tax Relief for free information now. Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
Just call 800-841-0908. 800-841-0908. 800-841-0908.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Hey, if you're looking for flooring, I got to tell you, there's only one place to go. The place that specializes in flooring. It's Sarah's Flooring Outlet, the area's leading flooring store, and they have the largest inventory in all of Central New York. So if you're looking for selection that is in stock, boy, you're not going to find any better selection anywhere else than at their all-new Route 49 Plaza. Sal and Sarah and their crew is ready to handle whatever you need. When you go to you need flowers, go to a flower store, right? You get the best there. You need a bike, you go to a bike shop. That's where you're going to get you need flooring, you go to a flooring store. And that's in Sarah's. They have you covered. We had hardwoods installed through in Sarah's, and it was just the craftsmanship was incredible. The end result was beautiful. And you can get interest-free financing for 6 months right now at Sarah's Flooring Outlet. Go to the place with the largest inventory in all of Central New York that offers a 60-mile guarantee on Pergo Extreme, whether it's carpeting, vinyl flooring, tile, hardwoods, whatever flooring you're looking for. It's in stock at Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and online at sarahsflooringoutlet.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, lots to get to here this morning. Coming up, Mayor Blask from Little Falls. We'll speak with him in a moment. Frank is in Utica, ready to take a shot at our free money question of the day from Hobica. Hey, Frank, good morning.
Good morning.
You ready to go?
Sure am.
So here we are with a chance for you to win $400 from the Hobica Law Firm. We've had one winner this week. Let's do another. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Here is your question. 7 seconds, get an answer in. The United States has a blue zone. Where is it? Ready, go.
Alaska.
Is the U.S. blue zone in Alaska? Well, if you were just listening 5 minutes ago, Manaski told us where the U.S. blue zone...
Oh, I didn't catch it.
And Manaski, it is?
Loma Linda. I blurted it out not knowing it was going to be part of our question today.
Well, it wasn't, but I did an audible. I changed the question. I'm like, this could be a good question. Because, know, ultimately, Frank, I'd like to give away his money. I mean,
I know.
That is my goal. So I'm thinking I just mentioned it. Let's run with it. And, well... Listen, you don't end up with nothing. We're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card.
You don't end up with nothing.
You do not. You get the $25 gift card at Aquavino, Babes, 72 Tavern and Grill, which reopens with the Comets, and Utica Pioneers, Taylor and the Cook, and any of the concession stands at the Adirondack Bank Center, and Nexus. So stand by. Davey is going to hook you up, okay?
Okay. What was that answer again?
The answer is Loma Linda, California.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Not Anchorage, but Loma Linda. Okay, stand by. Davey has you hooked up. And, of course, the blue zone is Loma Linda is 9,000 people. They are Adventists. So it's a very religious community. They do not drink. They don't smoke. I hate to say this, but, if you're looking to live to 100 and have a good time doing it, this is not the place to go. But vegetarianism, regular exercise, they don't drink, they don't smoke. It's believed that plays a big role in their longevity.
Yeah.
So there you go. Davey?
Frank, call back. I need to get your info.
We need your address, Frank, in order to mail that to you. So give Davey a call back. On the line right now is the Little Falls Mayor, Mayor Mark Blask. Good morning. He'll live to 100. Mark Blask will. Good morning.
I could see that, actually.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Loma Linda sounds horrible.
It is an awful place. I mean, there's nothing but a bunch of 90, 100-year-olds, 105-year-olds. Nobody drinks. Nobody smokes. I mean, it's just...
Do they have gambling?
I doubt it. I mean,
My favorite thing about Dr. Shimoleski when he is there, and he's such a great guest, is he always works in how booze is okay in your diet. He always just elbows that in.
He threw
he's
out...
like, yeah, just try some red wine.
Yeah, he even threw out bourbon this morning. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, doc, my back hurts. Yeah, have you ever had bourbon? That's the doctor I need. See, my guy is like exercise.
Yeah. There's so many downers out there. Debbie Downer, Dr. Debbie Downer. What's your name? Dr. Debbie Downer. In this case,
that guy's great.
But you know what? The reality is, it's like live a happy life. Don't drink too much, but have a drink at night. What have you?
Of course.
I try to explain that to my wife. She just doesn't listen. What in the hell are you thinking?
And you guys are both Met fans, too. I hope you're drinking.
Talk about carrying stress and anxiety with you.
So let me ask you,
good news
Mayor.
This week, though, they had a huge hire this week. I don't know if you caught it. There was a lot going on. But they hired David Stearns, who's going to do really well for that organization. Young kid. He did awesome in Milwaukee. He's still in his 30s. That was a super hire. It's exactly what they need.
Well, and I the other part of this, and I'd like your take on it because I know you're a big sports fan, big baseball fan, big Mets fan. Your take, I feel like bringing in the veterans that they brought in this year to close out the deal, send them off to the World Series. I feel like it changed the dynamic, the personality of the team, and since they have left, this team actually seems to be progressing far better, and they're doing it by bringing up some of the younger guys. What are your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, I mean, once you pay for older arms in Major League Baseball, it's just such a limited return. I mean, think about their rotation at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Scherzer, hurt. DeGrom, hurt. Verlander, hurt. I mean, that was only going to last so long. I mean, they're in the twilight of their career. And guess what? They were all in their rotation at the beginning of the year for the Mets. I mean, they just need to shift gears, which I think they will under Stearns. So.
And then Mayor, who's your football team, by the way? Are you a Bills fan?
I'm a Jets fan.
Oh, jeez.
I grew up a Vikings fan, but then I lived in New England so long when I was stationed there that I was just anti-Patriots. Everybody's a Patriots fan, so I just wanted to go oppo that.
Yep.
So I went with the Jets because it was during the whole Parcells.
Well, you had to
thing,
be happy with the outcome
the
other night, other than Aaron Rodgers' outcome, but you had to be happy with the...
I mean, the Bills are so fun to root for, though. I mean, I go to a couple Bills games, and I mean, it's such a good time, and how can you not be a Bills fan up here?
And then next hour, we'll speak with Al Woodall, who was the backup quarterback to Joe Namath when the Jets had those heyday years. And that'll be an interesting conversation with what recently happened with Aaron Rodgers. So we'll do that next hour. All right.
Oh, that will be interesting.
Manaski has some Little Falls stuff.
Yeah,
We're speaking with Mayor Mark Blask in Little Falls.
And Mayor, I reached out to ask you for clarification on this. I saw the message to find out where it came from. I had to reach out to Bill and say, did I imagine this or did we not talk about this? Somebody messaged the show and said, essentially, why is nobody talking about all the migrants that are in Little Falls, essentially suggesting that busloads of them or a busload had been shipped upstate to the city of Little Falls and that they were there. And I said, well, we got to reach out and ask the mayor. Do you know anything about this? Is this somebody who heard something?
And this question, Jeff, to the writer's strike. Like, this is totally out of left field. When you text yesterday, I have not heard the word migrant in years. I mean, no, that's probably hyperbole. Months.
Yeah.
There's I don't know where this came from. So one random anonymous person sends some sort of message and says this, and you run with the story? What is wrong with you, Manaski?
Yeah, no. We didn't run with the story.
Very good question.
Can I just say?
Well, we're talking about it now.
Oh, now Richard's going to be on my
people are
case,
listen
too.
To this.
Now Richard knows he's got company, so he can yell at me.
I do have to ask, though, the question, and Mayor, listen, you've been all over the world in your capacity in the military. I have to. This is where we have become. This is what we have become. That you see someone that looks different, and all of a sudden we're saying, "Oh, they're migrants." I mean, how do you determine who is someone that is not a citizen of the country who's here potentially illegally or what have you?
I can tell.
How do we determine that?
I can tell.
You can.
No, I can't.
Or here legally.
Or if
right. I mean, you can go across the spectrum. I mean, we're not going up to people. I mean, I don't hear that term and think it derogatory at all. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it's part of a larger conversation.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the whole white scare thing, we just need to move on at some point.
Well, and, Little Falls, it's quite interesting. There is a historic spot in Little Falls, which is an outdoor oven, and I believe it's been developed over the last 20 years so that people can actually get back there to look at it. But interestingly, back, 100 years ago, back when things like the railroads were being built and things like the canal were being dug, Italians played such a huge role in Little Falls in helping build New York and build the country.
Sure, absolutely, and that still exists. People go and visit it. It's really cool. It's right on the outside of the city. Last Saturday, Bill, we had a garlic festival here.
Yeah.
And we had 6,000 people in Little Falls down by the canal. There were 94 vendors.
For garlic?
It was just a great event.
People had terrible breath.
We'll do the cheese festival the first Saturday of October. There'll be more than 6,000 people here. I mean, these larger events, they just keep growing and growing and getting more people to Little Falls. So
that's great.
I sort of wedged that in there, right? You were talking about Italians and ovens, and I'm talking about positive events in Little Falls.
Turn it into a positive. There's nothing wrong with that. I try to do that when I'm talking about the Buffalo Bills these days, but it hasn't.
It's one game.
Worked.
Don't overact. You guys are winning.
I stopped doing it in August for the Mets, by the way. But you're right. Some moves are being made. I think they made some moves. I would rather be in the Mets position right now than the Yankees, to be honest. I'm not trying to get.
Absolutely, yes. It's a stronger front office. Buck won't be back.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Tremendous owner who is going to spend. He's still figuring it out. He's in year 2.
Keep or ship Alonso?
He's got to stay.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know your thought.
He's got to stay.
I think so too.
Alonso is your modern day Rusty Staub. He is your
Legrand Orange.
He is right. He is your iconic player. He's your Derek Jeter, and you got to keep him. I was amazed that it even became part of the conversation earlier in the summer.
5 straight years over 40 home runs or something silly like that.
Yeah, what are we thinking
anymore?
All right, Mayor, thank you. We appreciate it, and good luck with the upcoming Cheese Festival.
Thanks, Bill. And please, punish Jeff in some appropriate way for this.
If I had the power to do so, I would do it for you.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Can I just say, I want to mention our audience briefly, only to say that usually, collectively, they don't steer us wrong. So I thought there maybe was something there. We didn't run with the story, but we went to a source and said, set it straight for us, and he did.
Fair enough. With that said, I will break, and we'll come back. News is straight ahead on WIBX.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month. Level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, there are great rates available for you as well. Call Term Busters for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, call Term Busters. 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Warner Sales and Service, building relationships, building trust.
Contractors and landscapers, rent your way to greater profits with Bobcat equipment from Warner Sales and Service. From heavy work right down to the fussy stuff, Bobcat loaders, excavators, and a wide variety of attachments will handle all the tough jobs like lifting, digging, pushing, carrying, as well as the more precise applications, grading and leveling. You'll be able to take on more jobs and get your current projects done with Warner Sales and Service. Whether it's the tough lifting and digging or the more precise work with attachments, you name it. Warner Sales and Service has the Bobcat rentals to make sure your projects get done. Tough jobs demand tough equipment. So when you have a tough job, rent a Bobcat machine. Stop in today at Warner Sales and Service, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona, and at WarnerSS.com.
Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
WIBX 950 Utica, Rome. W295DI Utica, Rome.
Supporters last night, he doesn't know why House Republicans are opening an impeachment inquiry. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson reports.
Biden told Democratic donors outside the nation's capital, quote, I don't know quite why, but they just knew they wanted to impeach me. And now, the best I can tell, they want to impeach me because they want to shut down the government. I get up every day, not a joke, not focused on impeachment.
Now, a shutdown could happen if Congress does not approve new government funding by the end of the month. But Republicans say this is all about allegations the president had a role in his son Hunter's business dealings overseas. And committee chairman investigating meet this hour, including Congressman James Comer, who says they're evaluating
some of the things that we believe have happened from the Biden family that are in violation with our laws.
Time is running out for Ford and GM and Stellantis, which is Chrysler's parent company. Auto workers have threatened to go on strike at some targeted facilities after midnight.
When the current contract between the union and the Big Three ends amid a battle over pay, benefits, and job protections. A strike could cost the automakers billions, hurt the Midwest economy, and even test President Biden's assertion that he's the most pro-union president in history. The UAW has withheld its support for Biden and urged him not to intervene, as he did last year when he signed a law that made a rail workers' strike illegal.
That's Fox's Jeff Manasso. They keep searching for bodies in muddy streets and buildings washed away in Libya's flood devastation.
The entire city has been annihilated, says Mohammed Salem. He asks for international help. Rescue teams have arrived from several countries, but the mayor of Derna fears as many as 20,000 could have died there.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. 4 Dallas, Texas police officers injured this morning when they were hit by a possibly drunk driver while they were in a standoff with a shooting suspect. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss, even when you monitor your credit. If your identity is stolen, your dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
We have a few clouds, 55 degrees, WIBX News Time, 8:03. This news update is brought to you by the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida. Join them on September 20th at givemv.org. And let's show the Mohawk Valley, show everybody the Mohawk Valley gives. Utica police making an arrest in connection with a shooting that occurred on Tuesday afternoon on Kemble Street. Authorities charging 42-year-old Tyrell Royster. They allege that he opened fire, shot a woman, and that victim is still recovering from her injuries. Royster was taken into custody after a search warrant was executed. Police say they found a loaded gun in his vehicle. He now faces multiple weapons charges and a charge of attempted murder. Officials at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino revealing the grand opening date for a brand new club, a modern sports book and lounge called New York Rec and Social Club. Will start welcoming customers December 6th. It's the first venue to open, will be the first venue to open as part of Turning Stone's $370 million expansion. Anyone interested in a position at the club can apply at an upcoming job fair scheduled for September 26th. Governor Kathy Hochul signing new legislation that aims to crack down on those annoying telemarketer calls. Now, this measure would reduce the number of those calls, hopefully, by doubling the maximum fine that telemarketers would face for violating the Do Not Call registry. The largest gun show in New York will be in Syracuse this weekend. It is the Syracuse Gun Show happening Saturday and Sunday at the Center of Progress building on the New York State Fairgrounds. There will be about 1,000 exhibits and displays from gun dealers and collectors across the U.S. More information on their official Facebook page. And the Savannah Bananas playing baseball tonight at NBT Bank Stadium in Syracuse. If you're going, it's recommended you get there early. It's general admission, all seating, so it's not assigned seating. First come, first serve. As Smitty accurately calls them, they are the baseball version of the Harlem Globetrotters. They put on a very interesting, entertaining baseball show, and it is a sold-out crowd for tonight's game. WIBX News Time is 8:06. Your Weather Center forecast comes to you from Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, breezy and cooler, a few spotty lake-enhanced sprinkles early, then becoming partly to mostly sunny, a high near 65. Tonight, mostly clear, turning chilly, low near 45. And on Friday, all day sunshine, nice and comfortable, high 72. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Your forecast brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service, celebrating 70 years in business, 3 generations and counting. You can visit them online at clintontractor.net. All right, in sports, week 2 of the NFL season opens tonight. The defending NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles host Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. Coverage of the game here on WIBX begins at 7:30. Well, the Eagles ruling out several players for tonight's game, among them running back Kenneth Gainwell, cornerback James Bradbury, and safety Reed Blankenship. Gainwell and Blankenship both dealing with rib injuries. Bradbury is in the league's concussion protocol at this time. Well, Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers says he is completely heartbroken after the confirmation that he tore his Achilles, but he's vowing to, quote, rise yet again. Robert Saleh, meanwhile, the Jets head coach, says he's not asked Rodgers about a return to the team, but said he would be shocked if this is the way he's going to go out. And the NFL Players Association is calling for the league to switch all stadium fields to natural grass. It comes after the injury to Rodgers. MetLife Stadium, where the Jets and Giants play, switched to a new playing surface called field turf this year. Officials say switching to natural grass is the easiest decision the league can make. The Players Association also claiming that players overwhelmingly prefer natural gas and noted that natural grass, not natural gas, and they noted that data shows it is safer than artificial turf. Baseball yesterday, the Mets beat the Diamondbacks 7-1. They'll wrap their 4-game series coming up later today at Citi Field. And the Yankees and Red Sox rained out once again, so they'll play another doubleheader. 1:35 this afternoon, 7:15 tonight. The Yanks and the Sox currently tied for last place in the American League East at 73 and 72.
Okay, we have a big hour to get to here this morning, including former Jets backup quarterback Al Woodall, who is the backup to Joe Namath. It'll be pretty cool to chat with him. Tanya Powers coming up in a second. On the unemployment numbers, I got to say, where have all the workers gone? Is it possible there are workers out there scamming the government and they're sitting home and getting unemployment? And that's why there's such a shortage out there. We'll talk to Tanya on all of that coming right up. It is 8:08 at WIBX.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
InSarah's Flooring Outlet has new stock coming in, and they need to make room, so you get the savings during the end of summer sale.
Get up to 30% off select items at InSarah's.
Select in-stock carpets are 30% off.
Choose the carpet that will fit your decor perfectly, then take 30% off.
InSarah's has waterproof luxury vinyl flooring for 20% off in stock.
InSarah's Flooring Outlet has the largest flooring inventory in central New York, and we must make room now.
InSarah's is offering big savings on top quality flooring. You get the savings during the end of summer sale.
Select in-stock carpets are 30% off.
InSarah's has waterproof luxury vinyl flooring for 20% off in stock.
You always get 6 months interest-free financing at InSarah's.
See why more people buy from the big store.
InSarah's Flooring Outlet.
Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and InSarah'sFlooringOutlet.com.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss, even when you monitor your credit. If your identity is stolen, your dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
I'm Ty Burrell, actor and small business owner. I'm going to show you my steps for making the perfect radio ad. This one's about innovation refunds and the ERC. First step, be relatable. I like pizza and puppies. 2, cold hard info. The ERC is a tax credit for eligible businesses that kept employees on payroll in 2020 and 2021. So if you qualify, Innovation Refunds Network of Independent Tax Attorneys could help you claim it. 3, go to innovationrefunds.com or call 1-843-REFUNDS.
Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. We work with an independent network of tax professionals. Terms and conditions apply. Ty is a paid spokesman.
I've been driving trucks for a long time. Safety is my #1 priority. I know that my truck has huge blind spots. That's why I remember to check my mirrors often for smaller vehicles. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're behind the wheel, try to avoid lingering in those blind spots. It can be dangerous. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Want to avoid extreme energy bills? Turn down your thermostat with the new Ruud Energy Efficient Furnace. Smart folks just choose Ruud for efficient heating equipment for your home and your budget. Get comfortable with Ruud and call Tri-County Heating at 315-829-4100 or check out their website, tri-countyheating.com. Don't forget to call for their furnace cleaning special. Expires September 30th.
Hey, did you know you can get credit on your taxes for making energy improvements to your home, like new windows? And the experts at New York Sash have all the information you need to take advantage. With the new energy rebates for 2023, you can get a tax credit of 30% off the cost of new windows. That's up to $600. But even better than that, for a limited time, New York Sash will match your window tax credit. Install brand new, energy-efficient New York Sash brand windows in your home. Get a credit on your taxes, and New York Sash will match it. But to claim the credit on your 2023 taxes, your new windows need to be installed by the end of the year, and that means you'll need to call today to get the schedule or on the schedule before the time runs out. So contact New York Sash to find out how you can get a brand new, energy-efficient replacement window and up to $1,200 back. Restrictions may apply. Visit the showroom or call 315-624-7344 for all the details.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Hey, there's also a chance for you to walk away with a 4-month supply of supplies and chemicals for your spa or hot tub from Tucker Backyard Pools and Spa. And all you really have to do is download the WIBX 950 app. It's pretty simple. Go to Google Play or the App Store, search for WIBX 950, download the app. And once downloaded, you can message us, which is very easy, Jeff, right, to send it a message.
Just like sending a text message.
Send the message. And
it was a text message.
The only thing that needs to be sent is the word Tucker, as in Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas. They have the hot tubs, the artisan spas, over 30 years of manufacturing excellence, made in the USA. And on their showroom floor in their brand new store there on Route 5 as you head out towards Westmoreland, just down from Big Apple Music, brand new store, you'll see this incredible, huge swimming spa. And you literally swim against the current in this hot tub / spa. It's quite the experience. Amazing to see it in person in store, and you can check that out along with all the other artisan spas at Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, located right over there before you get to Westmoreland, just down from Big Apple Music. Download the WIBX 950 app. Simple. Message us, Tucker, to get in the running. There's no purchase necessary to win the contest later in the month. Pretty cool. We're talking about unemployment numbers out there. Where have all the workers gone? That's the big question. Everybody seems to be having a problem finding employees. And today the question is, are people taking advantage of unemployment benefits? Turns out a watchdog group is saying the amount of money of unemployment, the amount of unemployment benefits that may have been lost to fraud during COVID-19 may actually be twice as bad as we thought it was. Tanya J. Powers standing by right now on the line. Tanya, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
So what do we know about this? I guess I'm not surprised.
The Government Accountability Report, the Government Accountability Office is who did this report. And it's important to note a couple of things about this. In December, the GAO estimated that about $60 billion may have been lost to unemployment insurance benefit fraud. They later said that was an undercount. So the new report estimates that it's about $135 billion, which is
more than double. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
What amazes me is it already was such an unbelievable deal that people were getting for not working. Yeah, we have people taking advantage of it.
Okay, so the word may be up to $135 billion is doing a lot of work in that sentence, by the way. Again, keep in mind, this is an estimate. They are pointing to some things that, if you're wondering what happened here and how this happened, they are attributing the fraud to vulnerabilities in the state and federal partnership that long predates the pandemic. I'm going to get back to that in just a second, so put a bookmark in that one.
Yep.
They also say that this was exacerbated by some of the emergency relief measures that were passed by Congress in the early days of the pandemic when, they hurried to get things passed to, get money out to people who had lost their jobs, right? The problem spanned both the Trump and Biden administrations. The Biden administration has been working to claw back some of this money and to hold people accountable for it. And I point that out simply because of the timing. That just happens to be who's in office when the reports of the fraud have come up.
Yep.
When I said I'll get back to the state and federal partnership in regards to the unemployment stuff, the American Rescue Plan had actually put aside $2 billion to help states modernize their unemployment systems to improve the safeguards and to keep, there from being gaps and ways to exploit it.
Yep.
The debt ceiling deal that was hashed out in the spring between the White House and the congressional Republicans chopped that money in half. So it's not like nobody knew this was a vulnerability before now. This apparently has been something that has long been known and has not been fixed. It still apparently has not been completely fixed. Despite that there being efforts to fix it, that's kind of where we stand on that. The Department of Labor has taken issue with this report, and what they're saying is the methodology that the Government Accountability Office used to do the report, that's where they're pointing. They say the methodology resulted in a higher number of unemployment expenditures to be categorized as fraudulent.
Okay.
So basically they're saying, oh, you counted stuff as fraud that wasn't really fraud. They're saying that the findings of the report are best understood as an estimate of fraud risk rather than actual fraud. Now, it doesn't mean there's not fraud, because the Justice Department has already said they're still pursuing criminal charges against people who, did this during the pandemic.
Sure, yeah.
They have also investigated more than $8.5 billion in fraudulent, unemployment insurance fraud allegations up to this point. So it's not that none of this happened. That's not what I'm saying. They have been looking into this.
Well, it's amazing when you look at that combined with a number of corporations and companies that were getting money that maybe they shouldn't have gotten money. It's really incredible that all that money was flowing, and I get it. We're trying to keep the economy going, but at the same time, with humans, it seems like if there's a will, there's a way to cheat the system, right?
I think that's probably spot on.
Yeah. Unfortunately, probably spot on. Wow.
And Tanya, just to clarify, the $60 billion estimate, and then the as much, it may be as high as 135, is over what period of time?
That is a good question.
It's not just 1 year. It can't be 1 year, right?
No. Like I said, this spans the Trump and Biden administrations.
Okay.
What they're looking at is they say that it could have amounted to between 10 and 15% of the $900 billion that was spent on unemployment between April of 2020 and May of 2023. That's when the public health emergency ended.
Gotcha.
So that's what the bookends are, April 2020 to May of this year. That's why I said it spans both administrations. And it's about 10% what they're saying of the $900 billion that was spent on unemployment between those times.
Well, history is going to tell us this, I think, I believe, I hope, anyway. But the big question that we're all wondering right now is, where have all the workers gone? It seems that when you look into the help wanted pages and the agencies that handle that, there are so many open positions, not just in New York, but around the country. And you wonder, where have they all gone? And I can't help but think that this has played somewhat of a role. I mean, I keep hearing stories about, so-and-so was able to make so much money during COVID. They banked a lot of it, and they're living off the money that they had saved during COVID. And you wonder if, you kind of wonder if that's part of why we're struggling to get employees today. Either way,
I would like to get a look at their savings and budget plans, but that's just me.
I agree.
Doing that, I want to know what their secret is.
Well, I'm afraid that some of this involved younger people who might have been living at home, where they didn't have to pay for rent, they didn't have to pay for, and they're just putting money in the bank. And now it's like, we're doing well. Craziness. Okay, Tanya, interesting story. Thank you.
Sure.
Have a great day. Thanks so much. Tanya J. Powers from Fox News.
And then there was a bunch of suckers out there who continued to work for the same pay, didn't get any extra money, and,
there's certainly a lot of that. How much time did we get off?
We were the suckers. Yeah. So we didn't get any time off.
I know of someone.
We wanted to work, though. I mean, I will say that, right?
I know of someone that chose to work, and then as time went on, the company that they were working for, which was a chain, did very, very well, and then decided one day they're just going to lay everybody off. And there was no And it came just at a certain time where if those employees would have stayed a little bit longer, they'd have been up for big raises, and they just wiped them out. There was a lot of corporate greed that occurred during COVID, even with companies that were doing very, very well. And there were several of them out there. Did you watch any of the press conference of the fugitive in Pennsylvania? Did you see any of that yesterday?
No.
A bizarre question was asked. Davey, did you see this?
I actually listened to it on the radio when I was out doing my errands yesterday.
Right. Did you hear the Little Rascals question?
Yes.
What was that?
I don't know. It just came out of the bazaar like towards the end of it.
Okay. So I don't know, is this like a radio stunt? Somebody's pulling a prank or something? Or was
he asking about buckwheat?
A reporter asked a bizarre question involving the Little Rascals during the press conference announcing the capture of that fugitive in Pennsylvania. Here's the unidentified reporter asking the question to Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens during the press conference yesterday. Listen to this.
Any concern that he would team up with another small man to step inside of a trench coat, Little Rascal style?
No. Okay, that's a joke.
It's gotta be.
That's a prank.
It's gotta be, right?
Did you hear the question?
No, I couldn't understand it.
He
But
said,
it's gotta be.
was there any fear that he would team up with another little man and they would jump inside a trench coat, Little Rascal style, where they stacked each other on each other's shoulders?
That's what he said.
Was that in person?
That was
reporter was in person.
In person. Now I'm hearing that he was a comedian. Listen to it again. Check it out.
Any concern that he would team up with another small man to step inside of a trench coat, Little Rascal style? No.
That is so funny. Well, listen, I mean, if you're not having a little fun, what are you doing?
It'd be him, buckwheat, and the alfalfa.
I believe it would.
That guy, that comedian's going to live to be 100 because he's
That's
carefree and he's having a good time.
Clearly lives in a blue zone. He's going to live to 100 years old. All right, a quick break here. We'll come back, and coming up, we'll be speaking with Al Woodall, the former backup quarterback for the New York Jets, but this goes way back. He was the backup QB for Joe Namath. And, it's kind of an interesting thing watching, I imagine, after just 4 plays on Monday night, and out goes Aaron Rodgers, and in comes the backup. He's back into the saddle. We'll speak with Woodall coming up in just a little bit through Don Leibel. River Hills Properties is the fastest-growing real estate company in Central New York. Nobody sells homes like River Hills. 15 years ago, we didn't know their name. Bill and Robin Monjo started a company that they said would offer so much more, and it turns out they were exactly correct. That's what differentiated them from everybody else, the services that they provide, the extra things they do for people when they're looking to sell their home. Like the book, 40 to 100 pages filled with details about the house or the property. The fact that every time your house is shown to a prospective buyer, the listing agent is there to answer questions, make sure the lights are on, you're putting your best foot forward, and if people do have questions, they can answer those questions right on the spot. Your listing agent is with you from start to finish. It's all about full service at River Hills Properties. In Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica, serving all of upstate New York. Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Call 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. And right now, River Hills has teamed up with the Stanley Theater for the big Jimmy Fallon show coming up with Kennedy, formerly from MTV and Fox Business. Jimmy will be on the air tomorrow, but his show comes up on Veterans Day. He'll be performing at the Stanley Theater, and we're talking about an opportunity to pick up tickets for veterans, and the veterans get to go at no charge. So here's what it is. We're calling them hero tickets. Call the Stanley or go to the box office and ask about purchasing 1, 2, or more hero tickets. You buy a ticket or tickets. Those tickets are then set aside, and veteran centers in the area direct us to veterans who would like to go but can't necessarily afford it. Helping out veterans on Veterans Day from River Hills Properties, the Stanley, and Jimmy Fallon coming to the Stanley Theater on November 11th.
When we get together with others, we can do more. On September 20th, nonprofit organizations will come together to ask for your support through Mohawk Valley Gives, the community's 24-hour giving day. But don't wait. Give now or anytime this month. Either way, every dollar counts. And you'll show everybody that Mohawk Valley Gives. Powered by the Community Foundation, MV Gives is proudly sponsored by Staffworks and M&T Bank and brought to you by Town Square Media.
Wouldn't it be great to have AC? You deserve to have air conditioning in your home. And no, I'm not talking about those clunky window units. I'm Jen from Standard, and my team is here to help. Regardless of the type of home you have or your income, we can install AC and make sure you stay comfortable this summer. And even better, in many cases, rebates and incentives significantly reduce the cost, or you could even get it for free. Call Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating today at 315-859-6292. We promise to save you money.
Paid for by government.com. Have you heard? Morgan's silver dollars are back for 2023. For the 100th anniversary, the U.S. Mint released the first legal tender Morgans in 100 years. They sold out instantly. Now, Morgan's silver dollars are back in 2023, minted in 99.9% pure silver, but only 275,000 coins were minted, and they will go fast. The entire market and experts agree this is a big deal and an amazing opportunity for both coin and silver buyers. Just call 1-800-973-9717 and you are guaranteed a 2023 brand new uncirculated 99.9% pure silver Morgan dollar. But with limited quantities, you must call now. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. Plus, you'll receive a free bonus Patriots pack, new and improved, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new 2023 Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
It's truck season at Steep Ponte Chevrolet. If you're in the market for a truck that's like new but don't want to break the bank, stop into Steep Ponte Chevrolet and choose from over 25 certified pre-owned trucks. Test drive a 2022 Chevrolet Silverado Crew Cab 4-wheel drive with only 14,000 miles, or a 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe LS 4-wheel drive with 29,000 miles. With GM certification, you'll get a 6-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty and an additional 1-year bumper-to-bumper limited warranty. At Steep Ponte Chevrolet, you can find new roads and save. You'll drive with confidence knowing your vehicle is covered. Visit us online anytime at steeppontechevy.com to browse our complete inventory. Steep Ponte Chevrolet, Route 28 in Herkimer. Stop by and see why it's always easy to do business at Steep Ponte Chevrolet, your family-owned and operated dealership.
All taxes and fees due on delivery. Must take delivery by September 30th, 2023.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss, even when you monitor your credit. If your identity is stolen, your dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, it is 8:32. I want to mention the Automotive Service Center just down the road from us here on River Road in Marcy. As you know, finding a mechanic can be tough, and one that you can trust who's good can be even tougher. That's why I trust the guys at the Automotive Service Center on River Road in Marcy. And look, if you're skeptical, you don't trust, they use some great technology to show you the work that they've done on your vehicle. I'll give an example. I just got 4 new tires put on as we approach the colder season, and one of them was worn down quite a bit. But the techs there use their phones to take photos, and when you go in and they show you the work they've done, they pull it right up. You can see what they've done, what it looked like before, what it looked like after. Another reason to trust the Automotive Service Center. Again, brand new state-of-the-art facility, River Road in Marcy. You can call them, set up an appointment, 315-738-7710. Online at autoservicecentermarcy.com.
Can I also tell you the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. And Daylight, the drive-through is lightning fast if you're looking for coffee or donuts or bagels in the morning, all freshly made. And you're in and you're out and you're on your way every single day. You can also get a box of coffee, Seattle's best, from Daylight Donuts. Right now, Chuck at Daylight Donuts is hiring. They're looking for counter work, counter help, part-time and full-time. Reach out to Daylight Donuts today.
Justin in Herkimer says he likes the Garlic Festival that we talked about earlier with Little Falls Mayor Mark Blask. He's anticipating, I think he said 6,000 people coming for the Garlic Festival that is upcoming in Little Falls. John in Marcy is qualified for the Tucker 4-month supply of chemicals. He simply sent us a message via the app that says Tucker, so he's got a chance to win. And Rudy in Lowville, I think you're going to like this.
Hello, Rudy.
This weekend in Lowville is the Cream Cheese Festival. Kraft is going to try to break the world record for the biggest cheesecake. Like that or no? You look confused.
I would be afraid that I would dive into it. I love cheesecake. And I forget, I've forgotten that Kraft is up there.
I know, you do forget that.
You forget that. And I only buy the Kraft cream cheese. I love the Philadelphia by Kraft. I think that's what it is.
You were talking this morning.
They get tons of people up there for that festival every year.
You were talking.
When is that? So we might have to go up there.
It's this weekend. And you're talking about the cheese festival that's in Little Falls, not the garlic festival. The garlic
festival already happened. The cheese festival is coming up later in September.
Okay.
Early October, I think.
It's the first weekend of October.
Boy, you said it with such disdain in your voice.
I got to tell you, I think the Little Falls should combine with Lowville and have a garlic cheese fest. It'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
So, you were talking this morning about Tucker, and when you go in there, they've got I don't know what the device.
The swimming.
You can
spa.
Get in there and literally swim in the spa like you're swimming in a lake.
It's a really good sized. Like if you don't have a pool, but even if you do, you're doing that exercise all year long.
Yeah.
Wintertime, whatever, you're able to, and there's nothing better than swimming as exercise.
When you talked about the cheesecake, I pictured you with that blue polo on swimming across the largest cheesecake. That's apparently what they're trying to make Kraft.
Well,
the world record for the biggest cheesecake.
What happens for me is I have a pool. It's pretty long, and what I do is I put a little beautiful plate of Ritz crackers and Philadelphia cream cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And I start at one end of the pool, and my goal is to be able to get to the other end to be able to have one of those crackers with cream cheese. And then I repeat as follows. It's just delicious. Yeah.
So, in other words, you haven't had crackers for years.
Just can't make it. I didn't realize that was going on up there. That'll be this weekend in Lowville.
How about that? Thank you, Rudy.
Don Leibel standing by right now in beautiful FLA. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. Bad news. Our guy is not answering here this morning, Al Woodall. But I thought we could still get I know you've done a story on him and the uniqueness of his situation with the Jets, and then Zach Wilson, who then had to come in after just 4 plays. Think about being on the sidelines, Don, and 4 plays in, you are not prepared to go running out onto the field.
No, not at all. And it really reminded me, when I was a kid growing up in Queens, there was nothing better in the autumn than going to Shea Stadium and going to a Jets game. And it was, for $5 you could get a standing room ticket, or the players, as they were going into the game, would give away their tickets to the fans getting autographs. It was a great time. And it reminded me so much what happened the other day with Aaron Rodgers and what now Zach Wilson is up against. In my time, as Aaron Rodgers is such a huge name in the NFL, when I was a kid, Joe Namath was the big name.
Yeah.
The problem with Joe Namath was he was fragile. He was always getting hurt, and it made me think so much of Namath and Al Woodall. Al Woodall was a backup to Namath, and many players, the star quarterbacks, you may never play at all. And there was times where Namath one season went out with a knee injury. Woodall came in. Next season, Namath had a shoulder separation. Woodall came in. Namath, at the time, was part owner of a nightclub in New York called Bachelor's 3, and the NFL wanted him to get out of that deal because they said there was mob people in there and whatnot. And Namath said, well, I'm going to retire. So all of a sudden, and nobody really took that serious, but all of a sudden, Al Woodall is taking reps and practices as the starting quarterback. And then we also had another season where Namath broke his wrist and only played 5 games, and Woodall came in. So my thought was, how is it that, or what kind of mentality or next man up mentality is there when you're comfortable holding the clipboard, as they say, and then all of a sudden they say, you're in.
You're in. Yeah.
Without preparation, maybe that is the best way because you don't have time to think about it. And so maybe this really will propel Zach Wilson because he really hasn't performed as they had hoped. And maybe this is it. This is the thing that's going to make him excel without having to think about it.
You know, and you think about what Woodall had to do and what Joe Namath had to do back then when being a quarterback, you were not even close to protected like Aaron Rodgers or any of the quarterbacks today.
Correct. Guys were slapped around a lot, and you could see a lot of pictures of headshots and sacks that were far more brutal. But it really is amazing that you could have everything kick in all at once as all your training, and now you're asked to perform. And again, maybe without thinking, that's when you do your best work.
It was very interesting too on the Jets game the other night. You know, they had Wilson as the backup, but they didn't have a third string quarterback suited up. So they would have had to have gone to a position player to who I guess it had been, I forgot who they were going to go with, but who was it, Davey?
Tim Boyle,
who played quarterback in high school and a little bit in college. That was pretty interesting. So go ahead.
Twice during the Namath Woodall era, twice Woodall went out injured the same time Namath did. And 2 seasons they had a third quarterback. And one time a fellow, Bill Demery, never took a snap in a preseason game or a regular season game. And for half the season, he quarterbacked the Jets. So, things like that happen. But nowadays they really don't carry 3 guys. They'll have one maybe on a practice squad, but that really doesn't count as for the game. So I guess it's too expensive or whatnot, but you just never know who next man up.
Don, what's your take on Josh Allen with the Bills? Speaking of quarterbacks,
well, you know what? I think he's had enough time to win the big one. He hasn't. He certainly made the Bills more prominent, but I think if he doesn't, finally get to the Super Bowl maybe this year or next year, I think people have more doubts with him. Maybe, is he overrated or this or that? I don't know. I just think he needs to actually show up now and win the big game.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say, well, look at it. He's only like 25, 26 years old. He's still young. But, look at a Patrick Mahomes who's stepped up and done, finished the job. I mean, I think that Allen is going to have to start figuring this out. And, whether it's digs in his head or his own issues dealing with his head, he's got to get out of this and figure things out.
The window is very short on how you could win because you could only keep people together for so many times, and opportunity doesn't always knock. Look at the great times with Jim Kelly. God, they had 4 chances, and that's more than most people get in their career. And if you don't win it, then it's people have some doubts on you. I think Allen really has to perform, or he starts maybe not at the same level where people will look at him as elite.
Here's the other part of this that I think that Allen needs to be Josh Allen. I mean, the guy seems to perform his best when he is, taking things on his own. Even in Monday night's game, there were points where he was running through and powering through the defense when he probably should have slid. And I don't know. I think with him, you just got to let him be who he is and hope for the best.
Yeah, knees are fragile, elbows are fragile, and you have to protect that at all times.
Yep. All right, Don, interesting stuff, and I'm sorry we couldn't hook everything up, but good stuff. We appreciate it.
All righty.
All right, Don. Have a great day. Let me break, and we'll bring up John Decker coming up in a second. We'll speak with John on everything going on with the obviously the topic of impeachment inquiry, and see what Decker has to say about that. Of course, John Decker is the only one on the White House White House press corps who is an attorney, and we'll speak with John coming up in a second. First, though, Joe Lowe. Before I break, good morning, Joe.
Yeah, Bill. Good morning. I have a question for you on the Josh Allen thing. I hear reports that he had just broken up with his girlfriend and maybe wasn't in the right mindset. What are your thoughts on that?
Are you kidding me?
That's what I heard.
Have you heard that?
I'll check it, but I didn't.
Well,
hear
you've
that.
got to suck it up. You can't let a woman get in the way. For God's sakes, you're an NFL quarterback here. You got to win this game.
I do want to say one thing, though. Jim Kelly, of course, like Don said, brought it to the big show 4 times, couldn't win a one. Now, I knew he wasn't going to win against the Dallas Cowboys. That was really everybody knew that.
Right,
but
of course,
the game that he lost against the Giants, that wasn't really his fault. That was Scott Norwood's fault. Although he should have been able to punch it in for a touchdown. Scott Norwood kicked it wide left, didn't make it. So, I don't think, but I also think that Frank Wright brought him to the Super Bowl that one year, and Jim Kelly did lose it for them. But that's just my thought on Jim Kelly, and will we see a great quarterback come out of Buffalo, New York? I don't know.
Well, we don't. I hate to say, but we shouldn't be wondering at this point with Josh Allen. We really shouldn't. You agree with that, Danny?
Right. I agree. You shouldn't wonder at this point. He is, like you said, Mahomes stepped up. There's a lot of quarterbacks that step up, but there's also a lot of quarterbacks that are almost good enough, but not quite, and this could be that situation. We don't know yet.
When you talk about quarterbacks who are almost good, but not quite, who comes to mind? Is not Daniel Jones, because he's awful. That's why he's terrible. I hope you enjoyed your 40-0 blowout win on Sunday night, Joe.
Listen, I'm still not comfortable with our offense. Our defense played well, our special teams played well, but I'm not comfortable with our offense because I too have a quarterback that can't win a big show.
Yeah.
It was.
And can't we say the same thing right now about Dak, that he should have stepped up by now?
Yeah, I guess so. We'll see.
So,
I'm
kind of in the same boat,
It's a long season. This is week number 1, so
it certainly is. But this week the Jets have to play the Cowboys, and coming off that high that the Cowboys have, and not having a starting quarterback. The backup guy did a good job, but you got to figure that guy was around before Aaron Rodgers anyway, so the team was comfortable-ish with him. So,
yeah.
We'll see what happens this week. If the Cowboys destroy the Jets, I will feel good about myself. So.
Davey.
So the point spread for that game was 3.5 with Aaron Rodgers. Yesterday, it's now up to 9.5 without Aaron Rodgers.
Boy, I gotta say though. I don't think I don't think that offense just falls over. They didn't Monday night. I don't know. I kind of like that spread.
Listen, my offense just needs a little work. If my tight ends can't catch a ball, I need Jason Witten and Jay Novacek back. That's what the whole Dallas concept was, a tight end who could deliver. We need Ferguson to stop dropping the ball.
Let me say one more thing on that on the spread there. The Jets also, I think, have a really good, and we'll find out, I guess, this weekend if it is as good as we think it is, a really good defense. I think that Vegas is just yearning for people to jump all over that.
Probably right. You're
you know,
probably
again,
right.
it was against Daniel Jones in the most pitiful offense I think right now in the NFL. But the Cowboys defense looked real good. Pick sixes. How many defensive touchdowns did you score Sunday night? 2, 3, 8?
3.
Jeez. By the way, late April.
Say, though,
go ahead.
You what?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say late April, mid-May. It was reported Josh Allen and his longtime girlfriend since 2017, Brittany Williams, they split up. This isn't anything new, but he is single right now. Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I think he's spent a lot of time doing TV commercials, national TV commercials.
Yeah, get out of the bushes. Get out of the bushes, Josh.
All right, Joe. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Have a great day, Joe Lowe. Was a huge, long-time Dallas fan. All right, John Decker is coming right up. Stand by. We'll do that next. It's 8:48 at WIBX. I'll tell you about Brank Construction. If it's concrete, it's Brank. If you need sidewalk work or driveways, old stone walls, old block walls repaired, you need a chimney repaired, masonry work, concrete work, nobody does it better than Brank. B-R-A-N-C-K, Brank Construction. Call 315-894-3481, servicing all of upstate New York here. All of your masonry and concrete needs, Brank, 315-894-3481.
In 1903, Mr. Bert Kinney opened his first pharmacy. Now, Kinney Drugs has nearly 100 locations and is 100% employee-owned. I bet Bert would be proud that Kinney Drugs is still taking real good care of people in our communities. Happy 120th birthday, Kinney Drugs.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. D-I-N-O-V-I-T-E. Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
A Rottweiler named Whiskey, with hours to live, brought back to full health. A terrier named Snoopy, paralyzed in all 4 legs, who ran and played again within months. These dogs are known as Marty's Miracles. Dogs brought back to health by Dr. Marty Goldstein.
I've helped countless dogs thrive with one simple concept. Your dog needs a high-meat diet, similar to what their ancestors ate in the wild.
Called the Miracle Worker by Forbes magazine, he's now created a premium dog food for you called Nature's Blend. It's the easiest way to support your dog's easy digestion, nourished skin, playful energy, and most importantly, their healthy, full life. For a limited time, save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get free premium dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511.
I'm so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
All pets are unique. Your pet's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
So I want to talk a little bit about, if we could, and we've had a few messages apparently, and we can talk to Samantha about this, the councilwoman for City of Utica, councilperson, Samantha Colosimo Testa, who's also a school teacher. Right, she was on Facebook going off on Whitesboro the other day in regards to Whitesboro's choice to actually play Proctor following the shooting last week, to play Proctor, but to hold the game at 9:30 in the morning. And what is your what did you get out of this? What are you hearing that came from Samantha?
Well, no, I believe somebody reached out and messaged me as well. I'm going to send a message to her right now and see what she has to say.
I got to say that I don't think you can blame anybody for being nervous about the next game, right? Or the next games going forward.
Correct.
Just because in this world that we live in with copycats and, I mean, you're just... It's putting everybody at a very high intensity level when and nervous, whether you're parents, school administrators, I can't imagine. But I think that any time now, as long as this shooting that occurred is in people's memory in the rearview mirror, I still feel it's something we got to be. There's going to be a heightened awareness right now for fear that something else could happen. I don't think that is something to criticize them over.
I agree, and I don't. But I simultaneously think that we talked about this a little bit.
I wish the game was at 1 o'clock or 1:30 whenever you play, but that was the decision they made. There had to be somebody, a security team or something, that was making that recommendation that they went with. And I just want to say, if you're the Board of Education or administration, superintendent of schools at Whitesboro, you got a lot riding on this. You got a lot on your mind. Your only concern is to make sure that everybody is safe, whether it's the spectators, but in particular the students, that everybody's going to be safe.
I think that's absolutely right and dead on. I do, though, appreciate because we talked about this as well. This is like allegedly students or a student who isn't even a student at the school who's kind of ruined it and, again, put Proctor in a negative spotlight, right? And that's not even a Proctor student. It just happened at the game, So I guess I can kind of understand maybe if there was a frustration that was like, oh, come on. I mean, our players are good. Our parents are good. We have security. This is somebody who lives in Utica but doesn't go to Proctor who did this.
Well,
why are we altering?
If I'm correct, this game is in Whitesboro.
It is in Whitesboro, yes.
So, but at the same time, in this day and age, when something occurs, you worry that the story is out there. It gives other people ideas.
I don't have the context here, so I don't know exactly what was said.
Larry is saying what was she saying? Well, she was basically criticizing Whitesboro for not for playing the game when it was being played, and I think the criticism came when the thought was the game wouldn't be played. But I have to say there are other schools out there that are nervous as well about playing Proctor right now. Whitesboro is not alone.
So
and it's not necessarily playing Proctor. It's the fact that this existed. There was a shooting. It's a fear of a repeat, some sort of a copycat act, and you can't blame administrators for being worried about that, or parents.
I don't either. She briefly sent me a message here. Okay, I have been taken over with rage. Not only have the varsity boys football game been canceled because Whitesboro doesn't feel comfortable, which has nothing to do with the Proctor student. If anyone cares about Utica and wants to support them, we'll rally around these kids because, again, the kid involved wasn't from Proctor, nor did the incident take place there. I've had it with everyone in their comments. That was from Sam.
But the game is being played, right?
Well, maybe unless something changed.
All right, we got to get to. I was told the game is being played on Saturday morning.
Maybe she's summarizing what she posted before that decision was made.
Enough.
Yes.
Let me go to John Decker right now. John, good morning.
Good morning to you, Bill. Hope you're doing well today.
John, of course, I am, and thank you. John is the chief White House correspondent with Great TV. Let's start with the big one, and that is the decision to move forward on impeachment inquiry. First of all, what does that mean? We've heard Republicans say one thing, Democrats say the other. What will that mean?
Well, it means that the House Judiciary Committee in particular will have enhanced powers to conduct this probe, conduct this investigation. They'll have subpoena powers. They can, if they wish to do so, potentially gain access to business records, tax records, banking records concerning Hunter Biden and perhaps other members of the Biden family as they pursue this investigation. This is an inquiry that was launched by the House Speaker, and he did so unilaterally, which is within his right, within his authority. He did not, however, put it for a full vote on the House floor, and I think the reason being is because I don't think he had the votes. I don't think he had 218 votes among his members to launch this inquiry.
Again, depending on who you talk to, John, the evidence is there. It's clear, but, the Justice Department is ignoring the evidence. It's clear there's a money trail. There's the bank trail. Is the evidence there?
Well, that's the reason why he couldn't get 218 votes. If you listen to someone like Ken Buck, he's a Republican conservative congressman from Colorado, former high-ranking DOJ official. He's a member of the House Freedom Caucus, so he's conservative. But he has said on the record publicly quite a few times, I haven't seen evidence yet tying Joe Biden to any criminal wrongdoing rising to the level of an impeachment. And you also have some, swing district members of Congress who are Republican who have said essentially the same thing. So, look, I think that's the reason for an inquiry. That's the reason for an investigation. When you launch an investigation, it is by definition a fishing expedition. You don't know what you're going to find, and that's the instance here. It starts out as a fishing expedition, but maybe there is a smoking gun. Maybe there is something tying Joe Biden and Hunter Biden in terms of whether Joe Biden lined his pockets with the business dealings that were done over the course of the past decade or so by his son.
If this is true, we're talking about criminality here.
Well, it's a big if, and it would be criminal if indeed U.S. policy was influenced by some of the business dealings of Hunter Biden and what he was doing in China and what he was doing in Ukraine, serving on the board of Burisma. So that's what this investigation is all about. There are some House members who think they already have made their case. I don't think so. I mean, I haven't seen anything yet tying Joe Biden. I've seen instances in which the Biden family, not Joe Biden, but the Biden family has benefited from Hunter Biden's business dealings. But now they need to go a little bit further. James Comer, the House Oversight Committee, that's what his committee's been trying to do.
All right. Going to be interesting to see this play forward. All, again, going forward while the former president is facing all of these charges, and Georgia will be seeing some of that on television.
We will. That's going to be very unique to see that play itself out on television when that trial ultimately takes place. We don't have a date as to when that will take place. The reason being, of course, Bill, the two trials that are taking place in federal court, they will not be broadcast on television. There are no cameras in a federal courtroom. Different situation in Fulton County, Georgia. So that's going to be really interesting, to watch that play itself out.
As always, John, we appreciate it. Have a wonderful week. We'll talk again next week. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks
John.
so much, Bill. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks. John Decker with Great TV. Portions of the program today brought to you by Adirondack Bank. With eco-checking, mobile banking, 14 locations, you're just a click or a call or a short drive away. Adirondack Bank. Call them today and become a part of the Adirondack family. Member FDIC. WIBX Utica Rome.
Have only 15 hours left. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Our message to the companies was clear. If we don't have a fair contract by midnight on Thursday night, we will strike.
UAW President Shawn Fain that auto workers' strike would be at targeted locations for Ford, GM, and Chrysler parent Stellantis.
They haven't said yet which plants would strike first, but any sort of work stoppage would certainly have an impact on the U.S. economy. There's a group out there studying what this could mean. They say at least $5 billion could be lost if this strike were to last at least 10 days, if not longer.
Fox's Mark Meredith.
The timing here for the White House really couldn't be any worse because the president's ready to talk a lot about the economy going forward. He's talked a lot about his efforts to build up America's unions.
Now, the president told supporters at a fundraiser last night in Virginia he doesn't know why House Republicans are opening an impeachment inquiry, saying best he can tell they want to shut the government down. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy tells Fox it's all about the president's alleged role in his son Hunter's overseas business dealings.
The president has changed what he has told the American public. So what we believe is you see a culture of corruption. We are going to get the answers to these questions.
President Biden will go to Maryland today to tout his economic agenda. We just got another inflation update, and just like consumer prices, wholesale costs rose month to month and year over year. Producer prices up more than expected at 0.7% in August. The annual rate increased 1.6%. That's double July's number as retail sales rose 0.6%. They're getting nervous about Hurricane Lee in New England.
Boats start loosening up. It only takes one to break free and start bouncing around and causing a lot of damage.
So he's securing his boat on Cape Cod, where Lee's storm surge could whip up big waves as it passes by, and possibly it's Maine and Canada as a tropical storm Monday. They keep finding bodies in flood disaster a storm caused in Libya. It's feared 20,000 people may have died in the city of Derna. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated US-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to lifelock.com.
Fast, reliable, and honest service. Finding a good mechanic isn't as easy as it used to be, but you can still trust the experts at the Automotive Service Center on River Road in Marcy. Their new state-of-the-art facility is open now and located just a few feet from the old shop. One thing that hasn't changed is their commitment to you. The summer driving season is here, so call to make your appointment today. 315-738-7710 or online at autoservicecentermarcy.com.
Hi, this is Tom Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We're expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is Tall Pines Insurance in Boonville. They're another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy. That fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here's Greg Lee from the newest Gates Cole location, Tall Pines Insurance in Boonville.
The reason why I got into insurance was I wanted to allow my father the opportunity to retire and give back to my community. You know, we had the Boonville fire that wiped out a large area down here for us a few years ago, and so we showed up at the fire. You know, we were right there, ground zero with our insureds, made sure that they were taken care of quickly. You know, we were able to get people the money that they needed to cover their expenses from that loss.
For insurance for your home, auto, business, and just about everything else, trust your local independent insurance agency, Gates Cole Insurance, proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.